It's been said that there are two kinds of people who enjoy magic tricks. The first kind enjoy being taken into a world of mystery and awe and wonder, and they don't want any kind of explanation that is going to ruin that illusion for them and ruin those good feelings. The second group sees magic tricks and enjoys magic tricks as a kind of competition between themselves and the magician, when the magician is trying to manipulate their perception in ways that they want to catch, that when the end result occurs and their brain tells them the impossible has just occurred, they don't like that. They want to figure it out and rectify the situation with the world of logic where things make sense. In my view, these two groups have a very significant thing in common, which is that they both appreciate high-level illusions. Just sort of like basic nonsense isn't going to cut it to achieve what they're both looking for, which is that their perceptions be successfully challenged. If you clicked on this video, then you probably agree that Oz Pearlman is challenging people's perceptions at an extremely high level. I'm not of the opinion that he is the best in the world at what he does, but he is certainly, he's certainly up there, especially in terms of popularity. This video, however, is going to satisfy only one of these two groups, and that's the second group. If you're looking for a logical explanation, if you're looking to burst that bubble, this is the video for you. If, however, you appreciate the world of awe and the world of wonder, and you genuinely enjoy the fact that your brain is telling you that maybe Oz is reading people's body language at some intensely high, sort of impossibly high level, or that he's a time traveler, or that he's a wizard, which is totally fine. And by the way, if your brain is doing that, don't feel stupid. That's what brains do when they can find no other kind of reasonable explanation. If you look at this illusion, for example, that object is spinning around in 360 degrees, hanging on a piece of string. But your brain is telling you that it's oscillating back and forth because it considers that to be the most reasonable explanation. When an object like a ruler is put in one of the windows, all of a sudden, the impossible becomes possible because it's just considered more likely that the impossible is possible rather than for your brain to challenge all of those assumptions that it's made in order to figure out the truth. Now, you can sit there and stare at this illusion and force your brain to recognize that this is simply an object spinning around in 3 dimensions on a piece of string and that there isn't some ruler magically passing through at some point. But it does take work, and it takes a lot of discipline. That's what this video is about, except we're going to be analyzing Oz Pearlman's magic tricks. We're going to be analyzing all of them. If you get to the end of this video, there is not going to be a single trick that you can see of Oz Pearlman's, on YouTube at least, that you're not going to at least understand logically how the illusion was created. So if that's not for you, please click off the video now. I'll talk to you soon.
And like learning how it happens, it's almost boring for the magician.
So boring.
Because it's this one little sleight of hand move and then all this other fluff.
Yeah, once you find out how a magic trick is done, you're so disappointed.
Yeah, it's almost like we should never divulge that because the people that get to witness the magic lose their joy and wonder.
You take away the magic.
Yeah,
You also
for
almost
sure.
feel shame because it's like, how did I get tricked by something so simple?
Yes.
Okay, so if you're still here, the first place that we need to begin, I think, is understanding organizationally that, in my opinion, there are 5 different things that Oz does all together to sort of produce the character that he has created. The first is that he uses things that I'm just going to call glances. These are opportunities when he's doing a trick and he's able to look at a very short moment's notice and very quickly and in a very sneaky sort of way to read the information that he is then going to later pretend to guess or to analyze or to read your mind in order to figure out. The second is similar to the first, except he's going to use a gimmick. So instead of choosing an opportune time to glance, he's going to be using some kind of rigged device, either a rigged notepad or a rigged phone or a rigged deck. We'll go through all of the different ones that are sort of popularly available. He's going to use that to get the information, and then, just like step one, he's going to proceed to pretend to figure it out using some kind of mental woo-woo or body language, eye movement sort of stuff. The third kinds of tricks are called forces, and this is where you don't have a free choice at all. Instead, Oz will tell you that it's a random choice that he's producing for you, in which case what's actually occurring is that there is a pre-selected card or a pre-selected word or phrase or company or idea or Scrabble tile that he is going to make look like a random choice, but in actual fact, he's simply forcing you to choose the exact thing that he wants you to choose. Now, all of these three are going to kind of combine because they can all take on a new form in the fourth category. And the fourth category is called dual reality. This is where these particular tricks can be used in a kind of different way to create a whole new effect. And it basically, before we get there, we'll explain more when we get to that stage, but in essence, it's about creating a different trick for the person who you're doing the trick to, and then the larger audience that is watching you do that trick. The fifth is the most meta of all of these categories. And that is because it has to do with Oz Pearlman himself as an identity, as a kind of character that he is selling to the world. And so all of these previous tricks come together and are constantly reinforced into this perspective that Oz is someone who has sort of extraordinary abilities that he has learned over a long period of time. This is a very subtle and it's a very detailed and also a kind of controversial area, but we will save it to last, but we will get there. It has a huge payoff. It's probably the trick that matters the most to Oz Pearlman because it's directly tied to the book that he's got coming out on October 28. So let's jump into the first group. We're going to look at glances.
All right, I'm looking over at you. Make sure I'm going nice and slow, like steady, whenever I want. And I'm going to go through it whenever you want. Is it right there? I want you to take a look at the first word or two on the page. Mm-hmm. Is there any way in the world that I influence where he would stop?
No. Which page? Because there's two pages.
I don't care. Did you look at something?
Yes.
Perfect. Did you each look at a word?
Yeah.
I wonder. Okay, grab it.
Okay.
I said first word or two.
Okay, so in this case, the trick happened about 10 seconds ago. Did you catch it? We'll go back and have a closer look. So typically, I want to say that when a magician does something like tells you to say stop, it's usually actually a third category. It's usually a force. They've kind of got their finger in a page somewhere, or they've got a deck, a card, they've got it crimped somewhere where they can force you to stop on exactly the page or the card that they want you to choose. In this case, this isn't happening. In many cases, this is kind of a magic trick for magicians to look at, because a magician will be looking at and going, okay, how is he forcing him to choose the page that he wants him to choose? That's not what's happening here. It really is a free choice, but you have to watch very carefully. We're going to slow it down.
Whenever I want, and I'm going to go through it whenever you want. Is it right there? I want you to...
So right there. If you look at this in this moment, what Oz is doing is he's using a kind of clever principle of sort of, it's like an adapted sort of sleight of hand, but it's a sleight of glance. As he's got the excuse to look at the book to open to the page, he's just getting a good look. And in fact, his line of sight is able to look at sort of only one area of the printed words on the page, and that is the very first words that appear on the page. And because we read left to right, when he opens up the book...
Take a look at the first...
So when he opens up the book completely, you're going to be able to just look straight there. You know what the first word on the page is. There's some good banter that happens later when Andrew comes in and says, oh, which page? And then O says, I don't care, did you choose one? He says that because he already knows he's asked him to choose the first word on the page. So we can see some variations of this trick that he's done on other podcasts.
You see the pages flipping by your eyes. Not you, Burt. I'm talking to you while saying to him. I know it's strange. But are they going nice and slow, Cotty?
Yeah.
Okay. Whenever you get an urge, you say stop. And we're going to stop right at that page. If I go one too much, you go back or go forward. Like, you got to be,
So he's talking to magicians effectively, right, through the audience when he's doing this. And he's just saying, I'm not forcing them to pick any particular page. I really am stopping at the page that they want. It doesn't matter because he's doing this glance.
In charge of this.
Okay.
I'm going, Burt, make sure I don't ever look at her. There's no reflections. Whenever you want, Cotty, say stop.
Stop.
Is it this in the spot?
Yep.
Okay, do me a favor. Take a look at the first word or two.
So we'll go back. We don't need to play the whole thing, right? I'm just revealing tricks, okay? I'm assuming that you're kind of familiar with them. Some of them we'll play the whole way through, but in general, I just want to show you the method that he's using, and then of course everything from then on is just talk.
Stop. Is it this in the spot?
Yep.
Okay, do me a favor.
So right there, look at his eyes. He's looking right here at the first word on the page. Doesn't take long to do that. Oz is a smart guy. He's very articulate. He's very well read. He's very familiar with the English language. It's not going to take him long at all. And in fact, you're going to see the similar principle used elsewhere. But just to give you one more
take a look
example, let's go to the We Might Be Drunk podcast. So this trick doesn't have as good of an angle, but you're going to see that he's using the same script that he's using on the previous ones, and that's kind of worth something.
Like 3-letter words, 2-letter words, boring. Is it more than 3 letters?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Same
boy.
deal. You pick any page. I don't want to know the number, nothing. I'm going to stare Sam in the face. No, Jordan, stare at me. As I kind of riffle.
Stop.
Wait, I'll go slow. I'll go slow. Make sure I'm not looking at him.
No, stop being you. Okay, stop.
Wait, do you want me to stop? Or
Yeah,
just
go,
stop
no, go
doing it?
again,
Keep
go
going,
again.
keep going.
All right.
Is that in the cellar? Good photo.
All right.
Whatever you want.
Yes.
Stop.
Do me a favor. Look at the first word on the page.
Go
Keep
again.
going.
All right.
Is that in the cellar? Good photo.
All right.
Whatever you want.
Yes.
Stop.
Do me.
So there, right there, he just turns his head. There's no reason to turn your head to do that. However, people aren't going to ask it because it's kind of natural to look at your fingers when you do something. And he's already planted in your mind the idea that he's not looking when he makes the whole deal about looking away. So you see in the previous ones, in fact, in the other 2 examples, he makes a point of making eye contact with someone as he's rippling through the pages. That's done so that when you think about the trick, you erase this possibility. The idea that he's just peeked, because he made such a point, which is going to stand out in your memory, that he was never looking. He was locking eyes with someone else. And then, of course, he just betrays that when he goes to open the book, gets the glance. So that is the book glance. Let's look at another glance trick. This is the business card glance. We're going to go to the Best Friends Barstool Sports or something podcast. I'm sorry.
I want her to be able to show you this.
Okay.
Because the phone, he's going to think it's something to do with the phone. Here, just jot down the name and go up to the camera and show them. Don't whisper it. Don't say it on the thing.
Any name?
Yeah, forget your phone. Just somebody you just thought of. Somebody that they know or don't know, Barstool or different, somebody that you know. Write down that person's first name. Wait till I'm turned around. Can you do this? Can you literally come over and put your hands on my face? Is there any chance? Put your hands on my face. There's no way I can see this. Cover me up.
Okay.
Did you guys see it?
We didn't see it
Do
yet.
you want me to show
my
them?
bad, my bad. Yeah, just make sure I can't see it.
It's
refocusing. You guys got that?
All I really want you to notice here is that he's drawn a line on the card and he's drawn an X as well. And that's to achieve what it achieved, which is to get her to write the name right in the middle of the card. Now, someone's already uploaded a video on YouTube explaining why this is the case, but I'll play the rest so you can see.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yes, it's folded.
Okay, don't say it.
Okay.
I'm open eyes.
Yes.
By the way, this dude, good temperature, well moisturized. Very nice hands over here. Very nice. Hints of lemon verbena. Is it folded?
Yes.
Fold it one more time.
moisturized.
If you can, eat it.
Eat it?
Totally kidding. I like how she would have done it. Barstool Sports intensity. Take this sucker. Who saw it? Is it folded so we can't
Yes,
see?
yes.
Shred. Take it. Are you looking? Watch over my shoulder. Make sure this thing's all ripped up. Hold out your hand, please. Rip. Rip. Here's what I think. I think she would have done somebody that you guys...
The trick's done. So in short, the trick involves the fact that she's written the name in the middle of the card so that when she folds it on itself, I'll probably edit in the America's Got Talent explanation for this because it's just good to sort of visually see it. But he's able to rip off chunks that don't tear the name, and then he's able to, and then at that point he's doing similar with the book. He's going to look away, and that's when he's going to cement in your mind, hey, I'm not even looking. I could be looking here, right? But I'm ripping these up. He rips off two parts of the card that don't matter at all, places those in her hand, and then he's able to use sleight of hand, which he's had years and years and years to practice. The little piece that he's left over, he just needs to open that piece and he can get a quick glance of the name, and he all does that in the same motion that he's ripping up the card. At that point, he's got the name. Everything from then on is just gift of the gab, how are you going to deliver the performance, make it look like you're figuring out the name, when of course you've read it right off the card. So let's look at that on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast.
They would not know.
Everything's mic'd up in here. Here's what you do. I'm going to jot this down. Here, get a scrap of paper and show the boys behind you. You guys are going to...
So he's done another thing here, which is that he's pre-folded the card so that when he asks them to fold it later, they're just going to fold it where he's already done the crease. And now you see he's drawing the line.
Watch me like a hawk. Just this...
And you can see he does the X as well. So he's done the same thing as what you saw in the BFFs podcast. He's telling him exactly where to write the name, so when he's going to rip it up later, he doesn't rip up that name.
Person's first name.
Hey, Bryce Hall.
Okay? Just their first name, and show the guys behind you. Make sure there's no way we can see this over here on this side.
Right now, JP is using a Sharpie. He's writing it down.
And again, just to bring up it was my last search. Like I didn't close it out.
That's impressive. That is insane.
Mitch, you got that?
You good, JP? Who saw it?
Just the back of the bus.
Back of the bus? Fold it in half. Fold it again. Eat it. No, I'm totally kidding. You would have done it. No. Garrett would have done it. That's commitment right there.
See if we can see it.
They saw it? Shred
I'll slow
this
it down.
sucker. I'm staring at you.
I'm slowing this right down.
Alright.
There you go. I think maybe there's a little bit of a glimpse here. I probably chose not the best frame, but I can't be bothered getting it exactly right. But nevertheless, you can see the concept, right? He does the first two rips, makes a big deal about sort of making eye contact with someone else, and then just needs to go to that second rip. There he gets the read. It's only one word. You can read that instantly, and the rest of the trick just kind of plays itself, right? As long as you're willing to act. So let's do one more example of the business card glance. You'll see the whole trick in full on the We Might Be Drunk podcast.
A birthday party, and somebody you invite, but you'd want them to be there. So you know, maybe not.
I got it.
No, I'm kidding. You got it?
Someone I want to be there, who
somebody
I know.
you know. Somebody you know.
Great.
You got someone?
Got it.
Somebody that, you know what, if they were having a birthday, they'd invite you, I hope.
Oh, a different person.
Different
then.
vibe.
Okay,
yeah.
okay. All right. I got it.
You know what? Jot this down. Go over there. Write this down. I don't want anyone to see.
What is
She's
all
watching
this?
behind. This guy Koy hasn't blinked in minutes. I don't trust him.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Write down this person that Koy hasn't.
So you saw the same thing again there. Oz is pre-folding the card to make sure that they fold it properly when he asks them to.
Blinked in minutes. I don't trust him.
Yeah, this is impressive.
Write down this person's name.
I love how these guys so.
You know, no phone number. But wait, do you know this person's birthday by chance? Oh, that's a pound. Even if you know the month, even if you know the month, don't tell me.
Chaos, so you're concentrating on
Someone else.
whirlwind, and then
The first name and the month and whatever day you think is. Don't fact check. If it's wrong, don't worry.
So I know there's a lot of talking happening there, but it's important to recognize that Oz is asking him to not just write the name. So this is where there's a subtle change here. Write the name as well as the month of their birthday or something like that.
I mean, this is a fucking group. This is gonna be a big up, I think.
I'm excited.
What are we doing here now?
No, there's no trick. I just want to get rid of Mark, you know?
He disappeared, Mark. Oh, no, you hired a murderist.
You coming back, Mark?
Sorry.
All right. So even if you show them, they might not know who this is. Come on back. I'm good.
Dude, what the fuck is happening with you, man? This is crazy.
Okay. Yeah, that works. So, you know what?
Well, I'm glad we didn't invite Godfrey, because I was nervous about that one.
Oh, God.
Jordan, since you're on me, grab that note.
Yeah.
Do you think she knows this person?
Yes.
Don't look then. Don't look.
You
Take
definitely
note.
know
him.
Her.
I'm saying him.
Her.
Look it up.
It's Esther.
What's your name?
Dan.
Hold out your hand. Grab it. Take a look. Yeah, take it off. Make sure I'm not cheating. Let me grab this. If this
my
person
girlfriend?
had a birthday.
Yeah, the ball's on this guy, and I guess it's also just kind of typical magician behavior to say, make sure I'm not cheating, very close to the moment that is exactly when they're cheating. So I'll play it back one more time.
Her. It's Esther.
What's your name?
Dan.
Dan. Hold out your hand. Grab it.
So right there, obviously blocked by his arm, but he's done those first two rips, and then he's got that final little piece in his hand. He's able to open it up, get a glance of the information, and then the rest of the trick is just the gift of the gab.
Take it off. Make sure I'm not cheating. Let me grab this. If this
my girlfriend?
person had a birthday party, would they invite you?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. You know what? You just thought of it. Watch his face.
It's a great trick. Sorry, just seeing her check out the pieces. You know, she's wanting to make sure that the name has actually been ripped up, which of course it has. It was ripped up immediately after Oz glanced at it. Really clever illusion. But that sums up the glances. Actually, no, we've got one more, and that's called the phone contacts glance. This is an incredible trick. Let's just watch it.
You're gonna tip this down. There's no camera underneath you. Look underneath, Baker. Is it
Actually, let's go back. Let's watch the whole trick.
That's so scary.
This guy just cleared his browser history. Do me a favor. Do you have service out here?
He deleted it all.
Everything. Go to, what should we go to? Go to your contacts, but hold it like this so I'm not being sneaky or looking. You know what, there's cameras, good point. This man's smart, look at this.
Yeah.
This is a pressure environment. QB's looking everywhere. You don't win a Heisman for nothing, folks. He's looking eyes in the back of his head.
Oh, he's
Baker,
feeling it.
go to your contacts and make sure I can't see you. Start scrolling. Be for real, have you and I ever spoken a word in our life?
No.
A word?
No.
All right, now I'm gonna agree with you. There's a camera there, so here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna tip this down. There's no camera underneath you. Look underneath, Baker, is it scroll?
The gift of the gab of this guy is insanely high level. Like you can watch this video and you can get logical closure and you can get your explanations for stuff and you don't need to think it's impossible anymore. But you're not going to be able to do the tricks that like at Oz's level, unless you sort of, abnormally have a very high verbal intelligence and his level of confidence and sort of just, 10 years of performing experience. But to think on the spot that when this guy looked around at the cameras, to then use that as a kind of segue into what this trick needs, which is the phone to be pointed down, is honestly just brilliant. If you don't know that the phone needs to be pointed down, you're about to understand why.
Scrolling?
Yep.
Is it, look, I want you guys to see. It's a very popular man. Is it scrolling?
You're about to be
Like 5,000 contacts.
This guy very popular. You're gonna scroll, but don't look. So go, take your finger, make sure it's moving, and whenever you want.
You're looking.
Oh, I'm not looking, you take it. Start scrolling up and down, go. And whenever you want, say, I'm done.
All right, I'm done.
Bring it to your chest, Make sure there's no way anyone can.
Okay, so the trick is done at this point. I would show you an example, but I'm recording with my phone right now. But essentially what it involves is you get the contact list, so you need to have some sort of excuse to get your target's phone out of their hand and into your hand. Once you've got it in your hand, you sort of make an excuse, you show to everyone, oh, look at how many contacts they have, he's so popular, blah, blah, blah. You scroll up and down, but then you want to say, in order to make it random, we're going to point the phone downwards, so that way when we scroll up and down, it's completely random, like you're not choosing anyone that you like, right? We want this to be as random as possible to truly test my mentalism skills. What you do is you look at the phone, this is a glance, remember, this is a glance trick. You're going to scroll the contacts and you're just going to stop at a particular point, any point you want, and just read the name at the top of the list, wherever it has stopped. Then you're going to continue with your banter, your, what do we call it? I can't remember what we call it for magicians. Your patter. You're going to continue your talk, your gab stuff. You're going to continue waffling. As you point the phone down, you're going to do a very slight sleight of hand move, which is going to press the power button and turn the phone off. At that point, you disable, of course, any touch on the phone. So when they think they're moving back and forth as the phone is pointed downwards, they're not doing anything at all. In which case, that name that you just read at the top of the list is going to stay there. Then what you do is, instead of immediately after they've said stop to get them to look at the phone, they're going to notice that the phone's off, and maybe they're going to figure out that you've done something suspicious. So to cover your tracks, you're going to get them to hold it close to their body, and then you're going to talk for the next 30 seconds. Why? Because that's typically how long our average phones last before they automatically turn off.
You see around you, Gronk, I'm getting in a little too tight for you, even though you're going to be back in the NFL soon.
Yes. I'm a snuggly bear.
All right, imagine you just got the ball, you look up. You're going to have a list of names in front of you. How many do you think are on a page? You got small font? I didn't see. Or big font? I don't know.
Probably 15 on there.
All right, do this. Look at the list. Did it time out? You haven't been talking for a while. Look at the list and look at the top.
It's honestly, it's so clever. It's so clever.
The name at the top, wherever it landed.
Yep.
Do you know this person?
I do.
100% it's a guy, am I right?
Yeah.
If it's a woman, you would smile more. Always the case. Always. Can't resist. I always pause.
Okay, obviously at this point, he already knows the name. He knew the name, 45 seconds ago, but you get how the trick works. Let's watch the next one. This next one, I think, actually, what have we got? He does it on We Might Be Drunk, so let's watch that one. And then he does it again on the BFS podcast, where it actually doesn't go to plan. And it's really cool to see what he does when it doesn't go to plan. It's honestly so amazing. But we're going to look at the We Might Be Drunk podcast first, just so you can see the same principle.
Tail?
Heavy petting. There is a tail. It's a nub.
It's a tall tail.
Kind of hurtful to call.
Do you ever tell anyone how you do these things?
My wife knows a lot.
Oh, I'll marry you right now.
I like that.
That's it.
So what do we got?
I don't know. You know what? I don't want you looking through and being like, this guy's an asshole. I haven't talked to her.
Just pick a random.
No. Do this. Tip down.
This
look,
is fucking
turn
nuts.
it downwards.
Yeah. Okay.
Look at this guy flexing with the Amex Platinum right there.
Whoa,
Getting the sky clubs.
black card.
Start scrolling.
Okay.
No. Here, do this. Hold it for him, Mark. Look underneath.
That's really clever, right? To create the idea that all he wanted him to do was turn down and then he could do it himself, and then sort of say, oh, no, and then gets the excuse to take the phone. The level of manipulation is insane. And like that's a big part of the reason I'm making this video, is so that you can realize that Oz is a mentalist, but he's not a mentalist in the direction that you think he is. He's not reading you, he's writing you. You know what I mean? Like, this guy is a very well-practiced manipulator. It's amazing.
Damn, this thing's heavy. Is it scrolling?
Yes.
Don't linger and butt dial. Can you guys see this, Simon? Make sure.
You gotta
Get the
barely,
Make sure this thing is scrolling. Here's what you do. You scroll.
No, it went away.
No.
Block. Wait.
No, what? Oh, start scrolling. No, it's he's got like a cover screen.
Oh, got it.
Look at it. Whenever you're done, say I'm done.
Easy there, G-Spot.
Bring it close to your body, G. Right there. No, close to you. Right there. Let me ask you a question. We give him a book right now. He opens it. Where do your eyes go?
So I don't know. Did we catch the point where he glanced at it? Sorry, I should have made that point clear. So he's showing to everyone else.
Make sure this thing is scrolling. Here's what you do.
That was it. It was right there.
And butt dial. Can you guys see this, Simon? Make sure.
You gotta
Get the Make sure this thing is scrolling. Here's what
So there, he got the glance right there.
you do. You scroll.
No, it went away. Block.
Turns the phone off here.
Start scrolling. No, it's he's got like a cover screen.
Oh, got it.
Look.
The rest of the trick is history. He's able to read the name at the top, ask him to read the name, and boom, there you go. Now let's watch it when the trick doesn't exactly go to plan.
I don't know why
Should we
didn't tell
end
me.
it big? End it big. Grab your phone.
Okay.
And I want this to be random because, again, you thought for a second, I wish I could do this with them, but I can't see them far away. Go to your contacts.
Okay. Contacts.
And you know that she just popped the name Aiden popped in her head. Did you write Aiden's name down? Did you whisper to me? Did you say anything?
No, I haven't been in contact
Start
with
scrolling through your list of names.
Okay.
Right now, real time. Dave, you're seeing this, right? Is there a mirror or anything behind you that I could see? You know what? Let's be safe. Let's do this. I don't want to get close, but just tip down. Can I show you? No, my bad. Can I just get close?
Yeah.
Like this, down.
Okay.
So when you scroll, you can't even see what you're doing.
Really impressive, like, body language, and the verbals that he's giving are really intelligent as well. You know, I don't want to get close. He's leaning away, but then kind of asking, oh, can I get close? He's asking for permission, and then kind of just, grabbing her wrist from afar. Really brilliant stuff to make it seem like he's being fair.
Okay. You feel me? Can we do this? Can we just move it towards the camera? Can you just see? Can I just show you? Is it really moving? Because otherwise it's going to be very, is it moving or not?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the emphasis is really moving. That's the justification for taking the phone out of her hand, which is, a complete sin, right? If you want to do this trick fairly. So he's got to have that justification, and he nails it.
You guys, is that how you guys see it on the camera? I can't tell.
Like doing something.
Dave, make sure I'm not doing anything. Is it scrolling?
I'm watching.
I want to
I'm
know.
watching.
Yeah. So you take it.
Okay.
Start scrolling. Hold a little lower so nobody can see on camera. A little lower.
I shut it off on accident.
Oh yeah, don't time out.
Okay. Okay.
It's amazing. It's amazing. She's caught the trick without realizing that she's caught the trick. Oz has turned off the phone, and she just intuitively, because she's bought into the whole trick, she thinks, oh my goodness, the phone is accidentally turned off. That's going to ruin the trick. And she spots that, and she checks it. And at this point, Oz has to reset. He's glanced at the top name, which we saw, right? Again, I didn't point that out.
Now, only key thing here.
But the beauty is O's now considering, how does he reset this trick? Because she's stuffed it. If she's turned it on and now she's scrolling the contacts, the fact that he's previously read the name at the top isn't going to matter anymore. What the heck do you do?
Okay.
He's thinking there. Look at that. He's thinking. He's like, okay, come on, what do I do?
Now,
That's a man regathering himself right there.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
Now, only key thing here is if you accidentally butt dial somebody. You know what I'm saying? So you did something a second ago. When you did it, were you going only to your favorites, or were you in like the full thing?
Full contact.
Okay, great. So, can you guys see which camera is this showing to? I just want to make sure. I love how Dave's not even blinking. He's like, something's going on.
Watch closely, Dave.
There's clearly something.
I get the impression that Oz isn't exactly sure how he's going to reset this trick because, again, realize logically, she's messed up the order of the contacts. He's got to get it back into his hand. He's got to reset the whole trick. He's got to do the glance. He's got to turn it off, the whole thing again.
What's going on?
Tell me what it is. I got to know.
I don't fucking know. You're very good.
Okay, so do this. Stop. If you bring it close to the camera, how tight can the camera zoom? Yeah. Okay, just take it. You're going to bring this close to your body.
Okay.
You do it from scratch. Do it from scratch. Scroll again.
Okay.
Get the camera in close while she's doing it. Is that okay? Make sure. I want to make sure you're seeing it move and that you know for a fact it's moving.
Okay.
So you do it. Can you look at
It's genius. Like that was honestly just complete mastery. It seemed so natural how he gets it, and he says, let's do it from scratch. Oh, just that, even that language choice, that word choice, honestly incredible.
Yeah. Okay, just take it. You're going to bring this close to your body.
Okay.
You do it from scratch. Do it from scratch. Scroll again.
Okay.
Get the camera in close while she's doing it. Is that okay?
And there's the glance, of course, right? Gets the glance at the top, but now he's got to make sure that she isn't gonna, look at the phone again, right? After he turns it off. What's he gonna do?
Okay? Make sure. I want to make sure you're seeing it move and that you know for a fact it's moving.
Okay.
So you do it.
There's the glance.
Can you look under? Is it on?
Yes.
Give it a scroll. Quick. Swipe. Whenever you want, say, I'm done.
Did I-
Lower.
Wait, I
until
might have
you're
shut
done.
it off.
No, don't shut it off yet.
I might have shut it off.
Oh, really?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, I'm scrolling.
Oh, can you feel this? Can you feel what I'm feeling right now? It's beautiful chaos. This is a master manipulator who has a target who is just too stupidly intelligent. It's just not working. He even made the point of, hey, can you check that it's on? So we don't need to check this time. Turns it down, she still checks. It's just, sometimes, you can be one of the greatest manipulators on the planet and it just doesn't work. So you got to pivot.
What's the tightest you can get? I'm gonna do one thing different. I want her to be able to show you this.
Okay.
Because the phone, he's gonna think it's something to do with the phone. Here, just jot down the name.
That's brilliant. So in the context of the podcast, David Portnoy, who's the guy that it keeps cutting to on the video feed, he's very skeptical about what Oz is doing, rightly so. And this whole trick is supposed to be addressing Dave's skepticism. And so to use that line, Dave's going to think it's something with the phone. He's now going to pivot. So what kind of trick is he going to pivot to, right? What kind of glance trick is he going to rely on in this moment?
And go up to the camera and show them. Don't whisper it. Don't say it on the thing.
Any name?
Yeah, forget your phone. Just somebody you just thought of. Somebody that they know or don't know, Barstool or different, somebody that you know. Write down that person's first name. Wait.
And so he comes back to where we started. He goes to the business card glance trick, and we've already played that through. You see how that goes. Super impressive. You don't really see what someone is made out of and what someone's skills are until they've been punched in the face with something that they're not expecting. Oz just got punched in the face. I thought he dealt with that incredibly. Like if anything was to prove his genuine skills as a mentalist, as a manipulator, that segment right there shows it, in my view. Anyway, that's going to cover the glances. So we did the book glance, we did the business card glance, and we did the phone contact list glance. We're now going to move to the next group, which are the gimmicks. Now, there's a whole bunch of different gimmicks, so we're not going to do multiple videos for each gimmick. Some of them we will, because they're cool. But the same idea behind the gimmick is that you don't need to have any kind of rehearsed thing with your target. It's completely in the moment. It's a completely free choice generally that you're giving them. These are really great. Hard to replicate for you and I unless we have the gimmick. So let's look at the first one. This is the thumb writing gimmick.
Digits, because you saw me writing. Tell us all what's their jersey number. Who is it? What? Not.
I should give you context, shouldn't I?
I'm with you. I knew it. I just had to double check and make sure I knew it.
All right, look at me. I'm looking at you. I'm going with this. Done. So everybody at home knows what just happened. I wrote your name. I wrote a jersey number, nice and big. And I think you were torn between two different people. It's probably 2 digits because you saw me writing. Tell us all what's their jersey number. Who is it? Well, not the name. What's the jersey number?
The jersey number is 87.
And everyone saw. Tell them, everyone who's watching this. Yo, what did I write down? What did I write down? Say it out loud. I wrote down.
So if you don't know how that occurred, it's got two layers to the trick. The first is he makes a big deal about writing on the board beforehand. He's like, I'm writing your prediction now. He's got a big pen in his hand. The next thing he has is, I've never used one of these before, but I'm pretty sure you can get like these fake thumbs that will have a little pen tip on the flat of your thumb there. And so when he's holding the board like this and then asks what was the jersey number, he gives himself a good second to write the number, and then away you go.
Jersey number.
The jersey number is 87.
And everyone saw. Tell them, everyone who's watching this.
Yo,
what did I write down? What did I?
You can kind of see also how it's written. If you think about a thumb, right, you might be difficult. You might struggle a little bit to get the last curve on that 8, especially if you're rushing. So that's a very obviously rushed 87 written with a thumb. Let's look at another example.
O's.
How old are you?
7.
7. I want you to think. It's funny, I always steal these from the win. Don't tell them. I want you to think of a number between 1 and 100.
Don't say it. Don't say it out loud. Don't say it out loud. Don't say
me.
it. Say it. Keep it in your head. Keep it in your head.
Now notice, I see he's wearing a Otani jersey, right?
Yeah,
So we
yeah.
do an obvious choice. Do you go by Ted or Teddy?
Teddy.
Teddy? All right, Teddy. 1 to 100. Think of a number. 1 to 100. Look, see right there? Little pivot right there.
He pivoted.
Through the curveball. Do you think Mom would guess what number you did?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna show everybody. And this is where it's not a magic trick because you saw what I wrote down.
I saw it.
Now, before I go further, is it too obvious? Is little man's birthday coming up? Would he have done this right away? One question. Did you change your mind in the middle or you knew what you were gonna pick?
I knew what I was going to
You
pick.
went higher. This kid's sharp. This
you
kid's
serious?
sharp
Are you
beyond his
serious?
years. I'm
Are you
crossing it
serious?
out. Crossing out, Burt. No way. No way does he go that low.
A few things that I want to say here. This to me again is super impressive by O's. One, it's a mark of a talented performer to be able to work with both adults and children. Children need that sort of extra delicate handling, and O's is doing that perfectly, in my opinion. And kudos to him. Like that's great. The second thing is the manipulativeness again, which is using the pen, but this time making the prediction and then showing everyone the prediction, knowing full well that that is not actually the prediction and you're going to have to cross it out. Remember, this trick works by waiting for the kid to tell him what his number was, and then he's going to use his thumb tip pen to write down the answer at the last second before he shows everyone. It's incredible manipulativeness to write something down and show everyone because it puts that memory in their mind that you wrote it down and you showed everyone. And I don't know if O's does this, but later on you can even say, hey, how did I do that? I wrote it down, I showed everyone, and like there was the number.
I'm going with this instead. Done. Take the marker.
Okay, marker's here.
I wrote 8, Teddy.
Even that, the subtlety of take the marker is manipulating you to remember what? That there's no way he could write anything more because the marker's gone.
And I knew it was wrong. It's not 8, is it?
No.
I knew it. Did I tell you? Tell us both. What did you go with? What was that number? What are you thinking?
5.
5. Tell them what I wrote. Tell them what I wrote down. I crossed out 8. I wrote down 5.
I think that's maybe a little bit awkward, the tell him what I wrote down. Just strange because if you've seen O's do other stuff, it's always, boom, immediately turn the board around, dead on, you know? This time, like the tell him what I wrote. It's just to buy in time, obviously, to get the number written down. I was just wondering do we get a cool camera angle of the device?
Wait, did I tell you?
Let's look here.
Tell us both.
Nah.
What did you go with? What was that number? What are you thinking?
5.
5. Tell them what I wrote. Tell them what I wrote down. I crossed out 8. I wrote down 5.
What?
Again, a messy 5, just in case you're doubting. Obviously, that was not written with a pen.
How did you do that?
Teddy, Mom.
He's less impressed, more scared.
Teddy. He is so good. He's like magic, Teddy. Like,
the only thing I personally don't like about this is, and you know, why I think mentalism stuff is sort of interesting. There's a part of me that doesn't like that it is manipulating people's belief systems about what is possible. You know, Burt here is like a full-on believer that Oz is doing this high-level mind reading sort of stuff, that he's some expert of human psychology. It is unfortunate that for these effects to work, your belief systems need to be messed with. I think there are some magicians who would stay away from this kind of stuff because that actually crosses an ethical line for them. I think Penn and Teller, actually I'll put in a little clip here of Penn saying why he wouldn't do stuff like this.
A quote that you said, he said, David Blaine said to me, and he said this publicly, that he believes the magician's job is to leave people believing things that aren't true. And you feel the exact opposite.
Exact opposite, yeah. I don't believe one of the most important things, other than kindness, that we can do in our lives is trying to understand the world around us. And I think that anytime that I muddy that and confuse that for other people, it's a really dangerous thing. Now, those two tracks of magic in the 17th century, I should know the date, the first magic book, modern magic book, was published called The Discovery of Witchcraft. This is the first time a cat wrote down who said, listen, man, those are tricks. This is tricks, and it's not real. And then there were the spiritualists in Houdini's day that said, we don't care. People get a rush, they get a thrill, they think they're talking to their dead grandmother. Isn't that groovy? Boom, we're going to do this. And those two schools of thought in magic have gone side by side. I like David Blaine, and we get along. He's a nice guy and really skilled. Please don't think I'm thinking anything against David Blaine. But philosophically, we disagree because he thinks if you leave his show and you believe something that David Blaine knows isn't true, he thinks, wow, I've done my job. And if you leave a Penn and Teller show believing something that I know not to be true, I think, wow, I fucked up. Because I think that, and I know this is a naive statement. I know you're supposed to get over this when you're like 16, but I think truth really matters a lot.
So let's look at another example.
Yeah,
Girlfriend.
let's get this going. I'm the lame one who can't drink. I got a gig right after this. I thought this was tomorrow.
So do we.
Superman. What's your name?
Simon.
Simon. What's a mentalist, right?
Whoa, have you seen MTV in the 90s?
Where the fuck have you been, Oz?
Simon.
Yeah.
This guy's royalty.
What's that?
Nothing.
Pick a number, 1 to 100.
69. Oh.
Obviously for Ian.
Why are you showing me my name?
Oh, because that makes it sure that I'm not thinking of Ian.
Okay, I
Mark.
got it.
Look at the struggle right here. He didn't
All
know he was
right,
gonna pick.
Oz.
Let's go here. What's your name?
Jordan.
So a magic trick is like I would do something right now, right? But there's no trick. One question.
Okay.
And if you're just listening to this, I just wrote a number. Did you all see it? You all saw it?
I didn't see it, but I'll go with you.
Screw it.
I saw it.
Purple velour, you're out.
You're good at what you do.
1 to 100. Was there a reason you picked this number?
Yeah.
See, look at this. I bet, damn, do you think he did a birthday? This guy hasn't blinked in minutes. I think he might have gone higher.
Oh, he's a nut.
Sam, crossing this off.
Same principle again. It's honestly so clever. It really makes you seem genuine and authentic. I'm a huge fan of, if you're going to manipulate someone, insert mistakes. The more mistakes that you can insert there, the more you distance yourself from this idea of the manipulator who thinks that they have to be super polished. It's being too polished that makes people suspicious. So this is brilliant.
This guy's coming in hot.
I'm going to go, what's your name? McCoy's watching like a hawk.
That's
Done.
a cool name.
Don't tell him the number yet. Grab the marker. Oh, I didn't even know there was a dog in here. I wrote 12.
Jeez, she's
it's
right
gonna
here.
Kill me.
Jordan.
It wasn't 12, was it? Is this the camera we're filming at? It's that one because I want to make sure I show it to the camera. Was it 12? I'd be so mad at myself. Tell me.
So the camera trick is obviously that he just wants to make sure that he's not going to be revealing the secret to the camera, right?
Tell me. Tell Jordan. Tell Sam. What are you guys supposed to be, by the way?
With the ambiguously gay duo from
It's
SNL.
not that ambiguous. Okay, yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Wow, what about
What'd you go with, Simon?
What about Austin Powerbottom?
49.
Tell him what I wrote, please. You saw. Tell him what I wrote. I crossed out 12. I wrote down 49.
Oh, man.
What'd you say?
49.
Whoa!
Is it because of the 49ers? And I'm 49 years old. That means we're winning the Super Bowl this year, and he got
You
it.
are winning the Super Bowl.
Oh, my
There you
God.
go.
So moving on to another gimmick. What do we got? Let's have a look at this. This is the rigged deck gimmick.
On YouTube
And this is all you. He's got a deck. So I want to do something unexpected. Are they shuffled up? Are they mixed up?
Yeah, they're
your
shuffled
cards.
up. Here,
Make
I'll
sure.
do a couple. I'm kind of nervous. I'm shaking a little.
Whatever
bit.
you
My
want to
hands
do.
are sweating.
Take.
No, I'm ready to go.
If you want, I don't care. They're not in some sort of order. And here, put them down on the table somewhere and push down and kind of like spread them out a little bit.
Everybody should be watching on YouTube and subscribe.
And this is all you. He's got a deck card, subscribe, and he shuffled them up. It's your cards. And what I want you to do is take and you're not going to look, but you're going to...
Wait, what did Oz say just then? He was like, deck of cards, subscribe, what?
Put them down on the table somewhere and push down and kind of like spread them out a little bit.
Everybody should be watching on YouTube and subscribe.
And this is all you. He's got a deck card, subscribe, and he shuffled them up. It's your cards. And what I want you to do is take and you're not going to look, but you're going to move your finger across. And whenever you get an urge, you like stop on one. Okay, like kind of go across. And it's got nothing to do with me. If you feel good about it, you just stop on one. And it's got to feel right to you. You got one? Wherever it is. You take this card, and what I want you to do is take it, bring it close to you.
Okay, so that's the trick done. Basic explanation for this is you can get decks that will have the card hidden in the pattern on the back of the card, which is supposed to be identical in a normal deck. In a rigged deck like this, with a gimmick like this, they usually can hide the, say it's the Ace of Clubs, for example, they'll hide a little AC, in the top corner of the card, and you can see Oz makes a point to sort of lean in and make sure he reads that properly after this guy chooses it. Now, this guy was given the cards, he was able to shuffle them, he was able to mix them up as he wants, and then he's able to spread them out on the table and then, do this like completely free choice. That kind of stuff is a very strong signal that he's not forcing him to choose any card. And of course, with this gimmick, it doesn't matter what card he chooses. Oz is just going to read it off anyway.
Wherever it is. You take this.
So there it is. Oz is right there, almost literally guiding himself with the finger to make sure that he gets that read. And once he's got the read,
card, what I want you to take it, bring it close to you. I want to see very close to you. Make sure the Taylor can't.
Okay, let's have a look at the Notepad gimmick. This is something that he used on America's Got Talent.
Gwyneth Paltrow.
60 women, to be precise. Howard, hold out your left hand, please. Bring your right hand right on top, like you're swearing it.
So just to keep you up to speed, he's got a notepad. It's got a bunch of different celebrities written on each page. It's very clear that that is the case. He's going to set up Howard to then randomly choose a name in the notepad. However, this really should be in the force section, but it's a gimmick. So I think it's more appropriate that we see this as a gimmick. As you can see, these categories aren't super clean. There can be glances and gimmicks and forces that kind of all blend into each other, and that can make it very hard to figure out. But I do still think that they're useful categories to start wrapping your head around how he's able to do what he's able to do.
An oath, bring your thumb right to the edge. Look at one name just for you. Open up in the middle, get it. You got it.
That's actually such a good camera shot of how this works. So the pages on the notepad are rigged in such a way so that when you go to pull up from the bottom, you're not just going to fan through them like you normally would. If you were holding a book or something like this, you're not going to fan through them like this. They're going to be cut. They're cut and angled in such a way so that when you do that, you're just going to always slip to one section. And you can watch that is exactly what happens with Howard here. I'm going to slow it down. So watch that. Just boom. See that he doesn't fan through them, it just immediately skips to one. He gets the name.
Up in the middle, get it. You got it? Burn it in your mind. Toss the book. I don't want it. I don't care.
Everything from here on out is just showboating. It's just gift of the gab. It's just your performance. It's just entertaining people. He's got the information. Away you go.
I know what I said. Josh.
Okay.
Think of somebody famous. Okay? You guys have never had on the podcast. Don't let me influence you. Forget the names I said. It's going to get in his head now. Somebody famous that you find fascinating. Now listen to me. This could be somebody that you're a huge fan of. This could be somebody that you never met before. This could be somebody you want to meet. Whatever you want. Somebody that you find absolutely fascinating. Go. Hit it. Who'd you think of?
Say it out loud.
Anybody. But before you say it, at that last moment, the same way that Dave could have picked any word on that page, you could change your mind to the last moment. Go. Who'd you think of?
Will Smith.
Good one, man.
Yeah, so this idea of changing your mind at the last moment is really powerful because it just elevates him to a new level. It's one thing to think, oh, he's triggering him by saying who's the most fascinating. There are magic tricks like this where someone will say, hey, think of a public figure. And a lot of people will just think of Donald Trump because he is a very public figure. But being able to say something like, now change your mind at the last second is a little bit of a flex there. Of course, how the trick works is that Oz has a pen and he is pretending to write these things down on a paper. My understanding, I think others have broken this down, is that he's actually using an inkless pen, which is really just putting pressure, and it's putting pressure on a piece of carbon paper, which is then obviously how carbon paper works, right? Is it transfers the pressure into sort of a marked graphic of what you've actually written down. The real trick here is how does he transfer this into the envelope, which is sleight of hand. So I'll speed through this and we'll get to that point, but you will see that it's very ballsy what he does in this trick, but of course he's going to have to touch that envelope because the envelope has the predictions that he is currently writing down using that graph paper. Is it graph paper? Carbon paper, sorry.
He was in here.
That is a really good one.
I know. He gets heated with Will Smith.
Oh, yeah.
Have you met Will?
I haven't. I haven't.
I haven't either. And let's end big on this. Bree, that envelope, it's all sealed up. Is that right? It's all sealed up. All sealed up. Do me a favor. And Dave, you're known for pizza. You're known for pizza, but you're way more than that. Name a different food. Just name a random food and screw me over. Totally your call here. Name a food that just popped in your head when I said all that.
Chinese.
Do you want to be more specific? Give me a dish. We can't just do a full cuisine. Hit me with
Lo
a dish.
mein.
What kind?
Oh, you're going deep here.
Come on, let's go.
Pork lo
Tease me.
mein.
What is it?
Pork lo mein.
Pork lo mein. Good. Okay, let's do it. Is that thing sealed? It's sealed. And I wrote Teal and I spelled your name right. I wrote down every single person's name. Josh Richards, right? Canadian.
Yeah, Richards.
I'm married to a Canadian. Rip it open.
Shout out.
Oh, go Canadians.
Tear the tap. Rip it open.
I think it's sealed, baby.
I was going to say, like, when's he going to write down pork lo mein? Like, he's going straight into the envelope, but of course he's writing it right now.
Is it sealed? Show them what's inside.
Another very, very sealed envelope.
Sealed envelope. I don't want to mess with the nails. It's looking very good.
This is so crazy.
Just so I know the situation here with the mic. If I move over, can I move the mic as well? How will this work?
Yeah, I can move the mic with you.
I'm going to do this. I'm going to give you this slice.
This is, I don't know where this is even going to
Slice into, like,
I'm
you do
scared.
it. You know what? Can I get you, just slice the top.
So he's got a very kind of, I'm not super familiar with envelope owners, but that's a strange looking device to me. I'm not suggesting that it's not a normal one, but it's probably something that people don't use all too often, which just makes a brilliant excuse to come in close and show them how to use it and kind of get close, which is what he needs to do because he's now got what he needs to slide into the envelope.
Like, is he a wizard?
Oh my God.
Now, straight up, before we do this, open that up so I can see what's inside of there. Was there anything else in there?
Nothing. Absolutely
Anything
nothing.
else in there?
Empty.
And that one, can you just hold it up?
So I'd say right now Oz is getting it out of his pocket.
If we just hold that up for a sec. Can I get closer to you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
He's got it loaded in his right hand.
Oh no, I'm sorry. My bad. Inside. This thing.
That's so ballsy. The balls on this guy. It's in his right hand as we speak while he holds her arm. And the purpose of this is to get that shot where he's now got it in his hand, but it's got to be clean, right? Because he can't be holding anything, right? Like he's holding her arm, he's holding the envelope. Man, the balls on this guy are insane.
Thing is like, do you see the colors? Can you tell me what do we got?
Yeah, we got it.
But if we just watch his right hand very closely,
Pink and blue.
The blue. Do you see the blue one?
Yes.
there he is. So he's feeding it in there.
The pink. I don't want to touch it. Grab the pink one out. If that thing comes out without ripping, it means security seal is intact. It means that around the top it was stapled. Will you grab this out yourself? And that thing is sealed. Is that thing stapled everywhere?
Every single
Couldn't
inch.
have gotten into it this year. Everywhere.
Every inch is stapled.
BFFs, baby, represent. Is it?
When I saw this, I was confused by the security seal thing. Of course, when a con artist or a magician does anything, every detail is generally important. So the trick isn't going to work without that security seal. So it's most definitely not a legitimate security seal. I did talk to Grok a little bit about how this could be working, and my understanding is that the security seal somehow holds the envelope open, which has been stapled in a kind of deceptive way, where you have, if you can imagine that you've got sort of an envelope like this split into two, you staple here, and then you staple here, and then this is just kind of a glue or a sort of a rubber cement or something like that that you can keep open with this security seal, but when you pull the security seal out, it'll seal shut like this, and the fact that you've got the staples on either side will actually make it look like the whole thing is stapled. So when Oz is obviously, reaching in there and loading in the prediction, it now gets to this end result where,
Seal was this. Is there any way anybody could have put something in, taken something out, switched all this, rip it open?
All right. Oh my God, what's in here?
Rip it open. Okay. And right there, is there a sheet of paper? Hold on, before you hold your hand tight. She's got that.
There you go. And you can see the size of that is something that obviously you can palm in your hand. Oz's hands are going to be a little bit bigger than hers. Away you go. There's the trick. Here's another example of him being really ballsy with this stapled gimmick carbon paper thing. We won't watch him write down all the predictions again, but just watch at how ballsy he is with getting it into the envelope. This is on the Rich Roll podcast.
Please don't open it until, can you turn it around? Please don't open it until we are on the podcast.
Right.
Now that one's still, if you look, there are sides to it. Tear it open as well, please.
Okay.
Now, Rich, if you've learned anything about me from this point, I'm nothing if not methodical. So now we got one more layer. Done.
Oh, dude, okay.
Now I know. Now I know you guys didn't mess with my stuff.
This is a manila envelope with my name and my logo on it.
Bam, we got the
there's so
logo,
much tape
baby,
on
Rich.
this.
We taped it like crazy. And that is why I brought a safety light opener. You're like,
Right.
what did you take out of your pocket?
Right. I'm not going to be able to open this without that.
Slice it open, Rich.
How do you use this?
I like how Rich doesn't open his own mail. No,
I don't
don't
know.
go there. Don't go
How do
there.
you
There's a
do
little
that?
hole at the top. You ready?
Like
Put that
this,
thing in
I see.
And do a nice little smooth along the top. You're going to cut yourself. Oh, be careful. Here, just flip it over.
Oh, I got it.
I think that's kind of validating what I said before. It's a sort of complicated device. People aren't super familiar with using it, which is what makes it complicated. It just justifies him getting in there. Now he's able to use his hands. So he's got a justification for being close, and that's coming true right now.
I've never used one of those.
Now, there is a safety seal. Can I show them this?
Yeah.
Can you guys, I don't know, do you want to do this with the camera? Are you going to do this for like a behind the scenes or no?
Yeah.
Also, having that device gives him an excuse to go into his pocket, which is what we're seeing now. He's putting it back in his pocket, but of course, what else has he got in his pocket? The prediction that he needs to load into the envelope. It's not loaded in there now. How's he going to do it?
Let's make sure we
Can you
see
guys
what's
see if
going on.
it's sealed, the safety seal on here? And Rich, this
Let me
thing,
see.
this knife, hold on, grab this knife. I want you to cut open the next thing. Oops, sorry. We got business cards in here. Unrelated.
Okay.
It's cut in my pocket. Okay, so take this thing.
Yeah.
And can you confirm the seal
Right hand suspiciously absent.
is intact? So can you see what I'm talking about?
Similar to the girl, he's now gone. It's now in his hand, and he's touching.
Do you see it? Oh, grab it, grab it.
yeah,
I don't want to. This thing, the seal. Take it out, please. Safety seal.
This thing?
Yeah, it should be attached to the staples. Grab it out, please. All the way, all the way.
All right.
And is it okay? So it didn't rip. So the
Safety seal.
Oh, there you go. So it is this kind of rubber cement thing, because you see after he pulls out the safety seal, watch what O's does.
I don't want to. This thing, the seal. Take it out, please. Safety seal.
This thing?
Yeah, it should be attached to the staples. Grab it out, please. All the way, all the way.
All right.
And is it okay? So it didn't rip.
Yeah, so he's squeezing. Okay, so that safety seal was definitely to make sure that it stays open. So whatever adhesive he's using to make it look like it's completely sealed is obviously open. Boom, he just needs to drop that prediction note in there, and now he's squeezing it shut using the misdirection of the safety seal. That's that's quality manipulation.
So
Safety seal intact and secure. It was stapled.
Check. It was attached to the staple.
Yes.
So grab it out
Stapled.
yourself. I don't want to touch that
All
one.
right.
Rich roll yet again.
It's another.
Stapled everywhere.
All right. Another light blue envelope stapled all the way.
The other layers of this trick is the fact that everything has been taped up in a very legitimate way. It actually lets you lower your guard down. It's a beautiful irony that going over the top on security actually allows you to go under security on this final one. At least it allows you to fly under the radar, because people aren't going to be examining it as closely, because if they do examine it, they're going to maybe examine the tape and they're like, wow, this is actually legitimately taped shut. And that's just going to cause you to perceive the staples as legitimately stapled together when they're not.
Around 360 degrees.
Rich, this,
again with my
that,
name all
this,
taped up.
stapled. You could either cut it with that, or you know what? Screw it. You might be able to with the tape. Just rip that bad boy open.
Right.
Tear. Tear like crazy. Can you get in or no?
Yeah. Okay. Then pull this out.
It's
some note
been
in
sitting
here.
there waiting for you. February 20.
And that looks like a pretty palmable note, wouldn't you say? Okay. So let's, he does the same thing on the Rogan, but I think this is going to get too long if we do it each time. You get the point. He's loading it in there. He's using some pretty impressive sleight of hand, some pretty ballsy sleight of hand to do that. The next gimmick we're going to look at is a very powerful one. It's called a telepathy pad.
It's a Hindu thing. We can't just leave it on
Alex,
the ground.
I'm
right?
making you go outside before Kiana comes in.
Disrespectful.
We're swapping. Do this. Alex, come on over.
So for a little bit of context, I'll edit in the video here, but he's essentially just done some of those book tricks before. And now this guy, I think, mentioned the fact that he wanted to do his own book. And so Oz allowed him to get up, have a camera follow him, which isn't important, it's just for us. And he goes to a bookshelf, legitimately just picks any book off the shelf, opens it up, and chooses a random word. There's no level of control that Oz has in that moment in order to force him or guide him to a particular word. There's no opportunity for Oz to glance at the word. So he's got to now just use a gimmick to get the information now that he's got that word, and that's what this is about.
I want you to grab one more thing for me. Can I come right back in a second?
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Kiana, come on in.
Follow him with the camera.
I want you to jot down the page number.
Got it.
Wait till I'm gone. Go fast. You got 10 seconds.
So the importance of me showing you that is that initially he had chosen a word from a book, and it's a little bit too suspicious to immediately say, okay, well now I want you to go write that word down on my notepad. It's going to just be a little bit too obvious that you're going from that to the notepad. So you're going to need more of a justification to do that. And that's where you can add in extra information. Oz did the same thing with the business card trick on the We Might Be Drunk podcast, where he got them to choose the name and then said, here's my card, I want you to write on it, and then added some extra information in there, like the birthday. It's the same principle. It's about justifying the use of the gimmick. In this case, he's going to be using a notepad. There's a number of ways that you can rig a notepad. There's the classic sort of telepathy pad, which I researched earlier, which will have some sort of pressure sensor on it, which will record anything that is written anywhere on the notepad. You can tear it out. That obviously doesn't matter. Very hidden, very inconspicuous. People aren't going to notice it. I don't know if that is exactly what Oz is using here, because if we go back to that shot, he really just kind of lets him stand by himself and use the notepad. Can I find it?
Follow him with the camera.
I want you to jot down the page number.
Got it.
Wait till I'm gone. Go fast. You got 10 seconds.
So, you know, he's left alone with the notepad here, but you can get other notepads that will use maybe transfer paper, even sort of white coloring transfer paper, which is difficult to see. People probably wouldn't find that too suspicious if they were holding it. But the point is, he's using a gimmicked notepad. He's going to be giving that back to Oz, and then Oz is able to get the information. All right, the next gimmick we'll look at is the iPhone calculator gimmick. I think the best example to show you how this trick works is the Shane Gillis podcast. So let's look at that.
You have your phone?
Yeah.
What are you on? Is this? Oh, your calculator. Can I go back in? You want me to unlock it for you? Let's go to your ATM next, baby.
It's up. What do I need?
Here's what, no. I want you know what? 1, 2, 3, 4. I want to make a memorable moment. Do you have your phone? Do you use Siri?
No, not really.
Anybody use Siri anymore? Am I the only one? Let me grab your phone. Here's what I do. I want you to add up a number. Add up a. I like how he keeps looking. He's like, don't go to the photos. Don't go to the photos. Here's what I do. I want you to add up a number. Okay? Add up a number.
The different thing about this trick is that the manipulative moment just happened. And you didn't even recognize it. Unless you know how this trick works, in which case, I guess you did recognize it. How this trick works is that he's going to essentially go around the group and he's going to ask them random questions that don't matter, that are going to result in a number being given. And this number is going to be added to a series of calculations in the calculator that's going to make the number get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's then going to result in this long number, and he's going to say, is this number significant to any of you? He then reveals that that number is the exact number of days it has been since Shane Gillis was born. Now that's impossible, right? Unless he was, you know, able to predict ahead of time exactly what every number someone would have chosen so that the maths would work out. In actuality, it's a gimmick, and it's a gimmick where most of us would probably have access to something like this. I don't, because I have an Android, but my understanding is that iPhones all have the same calculator, and what you can do is research the number that you want to get to. So in this case, it's a number of days since Shane Gillis has had his birthday. Find out what that number is ahead of time, and you can write it into the calculator. And then I haven't had time to play around with this, but I'm pretty sure you can do something like plus 0 times and then hit 0 again, and it will get rid of the number that you've just written, but it will now sit in the background, allowing you to do a whole bunch of calculator things after that. I think in effect, actually, you need to switch your calculator to scientific mode, which if we go back, O's might actually rotate.
Add up a number. Add up a. I like how he keeps looking. He's like, don't go to the photos. Don't go to the photos. Here's what I do. I want you to add up a number.
No, maybe not.
Okay, add up a number.
But you do see right there, he is adding a number to the calculator, and yet when he puts it back down, you can see that it's 0. So that's all Oz is doing here. He's preloading up the calculator. And so the thing about the mathematics is that if you go, 23,162 plus 0 times any number you want, right, which can be a set of calculations, it's always going to end up being 0, which means that it's going to add 0 to that initial number that you put in, which means that your initial number that you put in is not going to change. So you can create the illusion as you go through the group. And like, do I need to play it for you? Maybe we should. We'll speed it up. We'll speed run it.
I want to make one up on the spot, fresh, right on camera. So nobody can all this celebrate. I want each one of you to put a little piece of yourself in this.
He did do something there where he tilted it onto the side. I just don't have an iPhone to play around with, but I'm sure you do. Someone in the comments can explain what needs to be done there. But in essence, that's the trick.
So with me, what are memorable days in your life? Hear me on this. From the day you were born until today.
Everything from here on out is pretty much gift of the gab. I'll speed through it.
Some of the most memorable days of your life. I'm assuming when your daughter was born. Am I right? For me, like when your kids were born. The day you might have, I don't know, like, give me another day that in your life is very memorable.
9/11.
Yeah, that's truly that's a bad one. Yeah, I mean, like good or bad. Good or bad. Here's what I do. I want you to think of a day in your life that was either good or bad or whatever, but a specific day. So like 9/11 would be 11 in this case. Think of a number, either 1 or 2 digits. You got a number in mind? Don't write anything. No, don't write anything. Can we use a calculator? Yeah. Type that number in. Just the 1 or 2 digits. Type it in, please. You don't have to say it out loud. You got it? Here's the date. Here's what I do. I want you to think of it this way. Key to the day, I want you to think of a month. Now, if this was January, that's number 1. If this was December, that's number 12. Something memorable in your life. I don't know the month. We don't need the day, but a month. Have you got...
The only thing about this trick is that you need to make sure that the maths kind of roughly lines up. So when you're getting people to do the numbers, it needs to make mathematical sense that you end up with a number that is big, like the initial thing that you've loaded into the calculator. So you are going to have to think mathematically about how you do this, but the principle is always going to be the same. You need to find a moment to get those digits into the calculator. Initially, make it look like it's starting on 0. Of course it's not, and away you go. So, maybe the reveal is kind of interesting, so I'll show you the reveal.
I guess, sir. That's not true. Turn up the volume on it. See if you can hear Siri talk in the mic. It's an insult. Hey, Siri. I'm going to disable this, actually. She doesn't talk. No? I don't want to use my phone. There we go. This is yours. Hey, Siri. There you go. She talks dirty. That doesn't count as porn, right? That doesn't count as porn. It's in my due diligence. Heard you guys on Rogan. It's because like, I just think of things in my mind. How do you do that? Turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. It's all the way up. It's all the way up? Yeah. What? Remember what I said to you guys. Since the day you were born until the day, how do I make this one you'll never forget? What did you did a day, you did a month, you did a year, and you did something else in your life. What did it all multiplier add up to? What did you get?
12,830.
12,830. Does that mean anything to you? 12,830. Does that mean something to you? To you? It's not a pin code. It's not like a zip code or nothing. Okay. Go back in. 12,830. Can you bring the mic a little closer?
Hi, Siri.
Siri, what was the date 12,000?
My phone's fucked up, dude.
Siri, what was the date 12,830 days ago?
It was Friday, December 11th, 1987.
That's your birthday.
I picked 1992 for the Blizzard of 92. Oh my god. What the fuck? I picked the Blizzard of 92. I can't believe that. 2020. I was like, that was a pretty good year, I think.
So, there's the gimmick. The gimmicks, of course, that a mentalist can use can range from everyday available gimmicks, I guess, like an iPhone calculator, but then they can also get a little... I'm not even going to tell you what this gimmick is, because you're not going to believe it until you see it.
Dave, let's do this.
This is crazy.
Dave, you don't know what's going on. Studio, you're far away. Where are you, sunny Miami?
Yes.
I'm in New York. All right, here's what I do. Grab your phone. Grab your phone.
Yeah, this is unreal.
This is crazy. Go to Instagram. And I want you to start going through your feed. Like, go through people you follow. Totally random. Start looking through. Scroll down. Whenever you want, man. Whenever you feel an urge, just stop on one post.
The powerful thing about this gimmick is that the choice is as free as can be.
Yep.
You got one? Is there any way I can know what this is? Straight up, any possible way I can know?
Not that I'm aware.
Okay.
Good answer.
Let's take it a step further. Open up the caption. Is there a caption on the post?
Yep.
And I want you to look up and down, and I want you to pick a word. Pick a word, man. Pick a word in that caption. But don't pick a hashtag. Pick a word.
Yep.
You got one?
Yep.
Come on now.
There's no way.
Dave. All right, look at me. Look at this guy, doesn't even blink. The intensity on Portnoy.
This is insane.
Yeah.
I'm still freaked out about the Emmett and Aiden.
All right.
That's crazy.
All right. Okay. Dave, was the person that you thought of, I just want to know this, the person you thought of, an obvious choice for you or not really?
Well, I didn't really think of anybody. You just told me to scroll down and stop. Yeah.
Tell us what's the word you picked. What's the word? Say it.
4.
Like when you say 4, is it the number
F-O-R.
4? What?
F-O-R.
F-O-R.
Yeah.
Not even close, right? Not
I
even
can't see the
close.
picture.
Yeah,
That was
I
dead
can't see
on, Dave. Dead on.
What? Crazy.
There's no way.
There's
See,
absolutely no way.
You know it's good.
You're a
Dave's
magician.
cracking a smile. You know it's
That's-
got to be good.
Josh,
That's actually
you know what?
insane.
One trick,
I
baby.
don't
One
know
trick,
how.
one bite. We know the rules. What do you rate that, Dave?
That was great. I don't know how you're doing.
What's my number? What's my number? She's telling 4. 1 to
Like
10.
a
What do we get
10.
on that?
No, that's a great
10.
trick.
Wow.
What do
I
we
don't
get?
know
What
what
was the
you're
rating
doing.
on that?
He said 10. He
10.
said 10.
I don't know what's
said
going
10.
on.
10,
I
baby.
feel like I'm
Hold
just
up.
being.
Legitimately, a 10 is pretty fair because the gimmick here is so insane that when I tell it to you, which I'm about to, you won't. It sounds ridiculous. Your brain at this point, and when I saw this trick and I wasn't aware of the gimmick, I was really racking my head trying to figure out how he did this because, you know, I know that there are, and we'll talk about that next, there are ways that he can figure out what's going on your phone if you do a Google search or something like that. But with this, he's over in a completely different state. I can't remember what he said. Is he over in Miami? And he's able to get it. It's a mind-boggling trick. You know, he's going to a random social media post. He's choosing any name on the page. How he's able to do it is the chalkboard. He's using a gimmicked chalkboard and an accomplice. The chalkboard has a Bluetooth connection to another device where someone can, on their phone or on their iPad or something, write down the word after it is said, right? Because that's important. He asks Dave, what was the word? And then it was the word 4, and we're kind of blessed in that regard because 4 has 2 spellings, right? Depending on whether you're using it as a preposition or as a noun. F-O-U-R, F-O-R. He has to get clarification on that before his accomplice can write it on their iPad and then send that signal to the chalkboard, which has a motorized mechanism that allows him to write exactly what was written on the iPad, reproduce it on the chalkboard. I know that sounds insane. That sounds like conspiratorial nonsense. And so you really just have to see it to believe it.
Electronic system that allows the magician's predictions to appear written in real chalk. The effect is simple. The magician shows a blackboard and writes a prediction. Whatever the audience freely chooses appears written in chalk without anyone coming even close to the blackboard again. The performer can
Four.
Like when you say 4, is it the number
F-O-R.
4? What?
F-O-R.
F-O-R.
Yeah.
Not even
I
close,
can't-
right?
I
Not even
can't see the
close.
picture.
Yeah,
I was
I
dead
can't see
on, Dave. Dead on.
There were some things that kind of clued me onto this. You know, the fact that he's asking him for the word beforehand was a bit of a clue. The fact that when Oz is writing his prediction, he actually does this dot at the end, which doesn't appear anywhere in the word for.
I'm still freaked out about the Emmett and Aiden.
All right. All right. Okay.
That dot. Obviously, no, we're on the board with 4, and so at that point, I couldn't believe it. I went into Grok and I just said, "Is there any way you can get a chalkboard to write something remotely?" And it told me about the Lynx Blackboard, and there you go. I don't know how expensive that would be, but it's mind blowing. To me, that's like, it's so fascinating. It's such an incredible gimmick. But there you go. That's the gimmick. Now we'll move to the final gimmick, I think, which is what I alluded to earlier, which is the app gimmick. Now, we're never really going to see this used in action, but in essence, what you're doing is you are approaching someone and telling them to do a Google search or to find something on Wikipedia. And there are apps that you can get on your phone that link to specific websites. So I'll show you an example of some sort of pattern that you would use to set this up. If you were to go onto Google and you were to search something like, how many articles are there on Wikipedia? So if you were the magician, you would say, "Hey, curious, how many articles are there on Wikipedia?" I don't know. Well, can you Google it? Can you Google it? And they would Google, how many articles are on Wikipedia? And then the very first search result that comes up is this thing called wikicount.net. Wikipedia article count. How many articles are there on Wikipedia? The person is going to very naturally click on that page to get an answer to the question that you just asked them. They click on that, and it gives them and there's a number that appears, right? If you say this number to the magician is able to put that number in their device, which is then going to link your phone with their device. The next thing the magician asks you to do is say, "Okay, I want you to go onto Wikipedia," in which case there's a very convenient link right there to Wikipedia. You click that link, and now that website is tracking everything that you do, and everything that you click on is being sent to the magician's phone. It's insane. Now there's a variation of this app which will work with Google search, but you get the idea. The idea is that you are being led to some sort of phony website, and then from that phony website you're clicking on either a Wikipedia or a Google search, and from that point anything that you search is going to be sent to the magician's phone, which can be actually even sort of discreetly set up with a smartwatch, so all they have to do is glance, they'll get notifications from the app, and they know exactly what you are Google searching. So let's have a look on the Jake Paul podcast, where we don't see the app being used, but we hear it referred to, and that reveals the gimmick. Oz tries to hide it, but watch.
Everyone's different. I don't have a rule for like how this person thinks or what this person's eyes do. You read people. And then I start to notice patterns. And that's how I kind of do what I do. So in this case, all this kid wanted was attention. He's not a bad kid. He's heckling because he wants to prove he's smarter than everybody. That's how he gets attention. If you show him that attention, you diffuse the tension.
Yeah, but brother, there's no pattern or thing going on here with me bringing up a random name from my childhood.
Should we get into that now or later? Because it's going to be hard to unwind once we
But
start
I think
doing
the
crazy
audience should pay attention to this, because he set up a trick earlier, and then
Hold
he
up,
says...
I want to make sure we say this. I said to you one thing. I said, Jake, you've been, in the public eye since you were what age, would you say?
15.
15, right? So think about this. I said to you, here's what I do. I want you to think of someone. And the first thing, if I'm watching this, is I would have said, he must have looked this up, right? He must be. So I said, think of someone from your past that literally nobody would know. If I call Logan right now, lift the mic up. There we go. If I called Logan up and said, hey, Jake's thinking of some kid from back in the day, would he know who this was? would he like guess it right now? I get your brother on the phone right now. I get mom or dad on and say, Jake's thinking of somebody random from his past. Guess it. I give them 3 tries. Are they going to guess who you just thought of?
No.
3 tries, right? No way. So watch.
But that's what I'm saying. There's not a pattern to this. Like you.
And quick question. Did you whisper this to somebody here? Is there a microphone you whispered it?
No, nobody knows.
Did you write it down anywhere? No.
I put it in my phone because.
Oh, good. Well, hold on. Is it on your phone right now or it's gone?
No, it's gone. I cleared the history.
This guy cleared his browser history. All right. So you literally thought of somebody.
And I hid in a corner while I was typing it.
And what did you do? You checked if it was a popular name?
Yeah.
Because I want you. I'd say look up if this is a popular name. Because if you pick Michael, man, I'm gonna be disappointed in you right now.
He made me pick a like super random name from my childhood. That's very hard.
2 minutes ago, right? I didn't make you anything. I said think of somebody no one would guess. Here's what you do. Watch my fingers.
So there you can kind of get some little glimpses of what kind of conversation happened earlier. The justification for Googling was I want you to Google the name, make sure that it's not a popular name. But there would have been some little setup before that. Again, I'm not super familiar with all of these things. I know that the page that I just showed you is about counting the articles on Wikipedia. There may be other ones set up like popularname.com or something, or I don't know, right? But in essence, you're going to go to some sort of fake website, get some sort of information, link the phone to the magician's phone through the app, and away you go. Doesn't matter if he stands in a corner, doesn't matter if he deletes his search history afterwards. Whatever you type into that search bar is going to be fed straight to the magician, and then from then on out, it is just gift of the gab. There is a kind of beautiful example of this going wrong on the Bussin with the Boys podcast that I just want you to watch.
Yo, no, I'm trying to stay just sturdy.
Do you see what's on this table? Look down. Do you see everything on this table? Look down. Cards, we got drinks, we got everything. When I say the number 4, what does that make you think of?
Do I say it out loud?
Yeah, does 4 make you think of something when I said the table? Right here, do you see it? Corner. You're thinking of a cornerback, aren't you?
Do I answer?
Yeah.
No.
It wasn't cornerback?
Corner?
Cornerback. Did this person switch teams in the last year?
I don't think so.
Okay, I gotta preface this because I think we have confusion here. Are you thinking of the same person? You've got one person throughout, or you just pick a new person?
I'm thinking of the cat. You was getting me on across over the...
I had you think it's him.
So Oz is big to... He doesn't want to reveal, and we'll talk about this later, but he doesn't want to reveal that he's interacted with him before the podcast. But he's talking about that Google search.
Him, he's not a cornerback.
Not a corner.
Played for the Jets last year?
Yes.
Just switched. Did you not know that? Just switched to the Buccaneers. Bryce Hall, isn't it?
Brees Hall, yeah.
Brees Hall. Is that not right?
He's on the Jets still.
He's on the Jets still?
I think he just traded in the last day of the Bucks. Or
look him up.
How do you spell Brees Hall?
Breece.
And I did misspell and put Bryce Hall first in the Google search.
Is he Jets or Bucks?
This guy is so innocent and sweet and naive. Oz has completely sort of... Well, Oz hasn't stuffed up. This guy has stuffed up. But the stuff up has revealed how Oz is doing the trick with this phone link, able to spy on someone's Google search. The guy searches, is it Bryce Hall first? And he goes, oh, I didn't mean Bryce Hall, I meant Breece Hall. Oz gets the Bryce Hall and runs with it. It was Bryce Hall that was traded, not Breece.
Just type in Breece Hall. It should be on.
It's Breece Hall team. Type in.
Looks like he's
right.
Still with the Jets.
Jets, good enough for me. I didn't know if it was a trade. I'll take it.
That means Breece Hall might be getting traded.
This guy just wants it. He just wants it to be true. He's getting a smile.
I heard it here first. I didn't mean that.
Because he had me type out my own stuff in my own search bar. I wasn't showing him, and I was thinking of the player, and I misspelt it first and put Bryce Hall, and then obviously that was the player I landed on. I don't know, man.
It is crazy, huh? I'm still skeptical.
Taylor and I thought of 3 numbers before you came in.
So there you go. Not everything is going to work out exactly the way that you want it. So we've covered at this point the glances, we've covered the gimmicks, or at least a whole bunch of them. I'm now going to look at the force. Okay, so my phone died, I decided to go to sleep, and we're going to finish the rest of the video now. So we're going to cover forces, dual reality, and then sort of the meta stuff in terms of Oz and the character that he creates. So starting with forces, the difference between the forces and the gimmicks and the glances is generally that the trick that you're trying to accomplish can only work because you're trying to steer them towards a prediction that you've made, which can be often in the form of a prop or a sealed envelope or something along those lines. So in the Fanta trick that Oz did on the Flagrant podcast, obviously the girl needed to choose the word Fanta. If you're going to use what we're going to jump in right now, like a book trick where he's able to guess the first word on the page that you've read, you need to be able to make sure that people choose the page number that you want them to choose. Similar with cards. So any magician, this is some of the first things that magicians will learn, if I'm not mistaken, is a magician, if they've got a deck of cards, they can get you to choose whatever card they want. If they want you to choose the 5 of spades, they find the 5 of spades, and in a very sort of basic move, you put the 5 of the spades on the top, and there are ways of, calling people to stop and doing sleight of hand so that they always choose that top card. Oz is going to do something like that, but with props that we're not used to seeing magicians do sleight of hand with, which again puts us, lets our guard down, and that's going to be with the book. So I think there's no better way to do this than to just jump in and watch this force happen on the Flagrant podcast.
I'm going to go nice and slow. Bring your book close to you. As I'm going, yell out, stop.
Stop.
Tell us what page we're on. Either side, either direction you want. Tell us which page.
355.
Go to 355. Go to 355. Tell me when you're there. Do you have more pages?
We don't have 355.
Okay. Do it again. Do it again. Say stop.
Okay. So you might be thinking, Steve, what's the point of analyzing this part of the trick? It failed. It didn't go anywhere. What are you doing, man? We're supposed to be looking at forces right now. This is setting a context for the force, and it's absolutely indispensable because of how much value you get as a manipulator to lull your victims into a false sense of security when you make a deliberate mistake like this. So we spoke about deliberate mistakes before, and the advantage of them is that you can do in the mistake version of your trick, you can do all the things that would be impossible for you to do in the force version of your trick. Do you know what I mean? And so 2 things that Oz does is, 1, this trick doesn't work. So just to know the setup, Oz needs whatever this guy's name is, to choose a particular page because he has already, ahead of time, glanced at Andrew's book. He would only need a few seconds to just find a page, see what the first word is on that page, and then remember it, remember the page number, and then when you're flicking through the other book with your other spec, you just go and force them to that page, which we'll see him do right after this. The advantage of what he was able to do initially there is, look at this. He's flicking through the book here so beautifully and so slowly. But he's also, you see, deliberately flicking towards the end of the book so that no matter what page he stops on, it's going to be a number that is too big, because that's the other piece of information that he would have needed to get ahead of time, which again would only take you 10 seconds to get, which is how many pages are in this book, 96, how many pages are in this other book, 152. Okay, so we're going to use the bigger book to set up the smaller book. And we set up the trick by getting the bigger book and starting towards the end, where we're going to go, say, page 110 plus, so that no matter what page you choose, it's going to be too big, and this book isn't going to be able to cover it. This allows you to have this shot right here, where, look at that. It's just so completely fair. He's going page by page by page. This guy says stop, and then he does something even more impressive and to sort of lull people into this false sense of security, which is that he offers them a choice between the left or the right page. Again, if this was a force, he can't have that choice. He can't choose, page 46 or page 47. It's got to be forced on him, right? So that's what I mean by this part being an indispensable part of the trick. It lulls you into this false sense of security, and it plants memories so that when you go back and think about how this trick was done, you can refer to things that would make any kind of force impossible. And in fact, that happens on the podcast, on this podcast. I'll put it in now, when Andrew is reverse engineering and saying, oh, okay, so if you knew the word on that page, then you just force him to that particular page and then the trick works, right? And Oz actually says, oh, but I gave him the choice. I gave him the choice of whether we were going to be the page on the left or the page on the right. And it's that kind of stuff that just really trips people up. So this sort of planned mistake is, you know, don't mess with it. This is incredibly valuable. This is the true mentalism of mentalists. This is Oz Pearlman at his best right now.
Either direction you want. Tell us which page.
355.
Go to 355. Go to 355. Tell me when you're there. Do you have more pages?
We don't have 355.
Okay. Do it again. Do it again. Say stop.
Stop.
Okay. Tell us what page.
138.
Open it up.
And so what changed there? By having the preliminary trick, it also creates, and having that stuff up, sorry, so going to the page that is too high, creates a sense of annoyance, creates a sense of, come on, let's get along with the trick. It creates a sense of, okay, so we don't need to do all the stuff this time. I don't need to give you a choice between either page, which of course is just a beautiful subconscious cover story for the fact that you don't want them to choose the page. Everything is being forced on them. So unfortunately, the camera here for Oz does reveal the force, which is that he's just simply got his finger.
Do you have that much?
Stop.
So.
Do you have more pages?
We don't have 355.
Okay. Do it again. Do it again. Say stop.
Slow it down. So you can just see Oz has his finger here in the book, and so it's just a matter of, you know, finding the page number that you need, page 20 here, and then I can get you to stop it on page 20 every single time. Say stop, stop. Oh, there we go, page 20. Stop, page 20. You know, it's just boom, very simple, very easy sort of sleight of hand thing to do. Though you want to make sure that that's why, because it's so easy and because it's also so obvious, you can see your finger in there. You want to make sure that you butter them up with that false mistake at the start. Now, Oz also, right, because it's now rushed, he doesn't give him the choice between the left or the right, which is super valuable. So he just, boom, points right to the number that he needs this guy to shoot.
Stop.
Okay. Tell us what page.
138.
Open it up. Do you have that much? How short is this guy's book?
Yes, we have. Yes, we do.
And that's also really intelligent. Using that joke, how short is this guy's book? That's piggybacking on all the other times that you've used a phrase like that in your life. You've done things like, man, how long do these guys take to, you know, cook our meal? Or, wow, how big is this car park? You know, it's that kind of language that you use that generally always signals in each of those different contexts that you weren't expecting or you don't know something. It's communicating that you are unsure about some information and that this is how you're reacting to that uncertainty. In this case, that's a beautiful cover-up because Oz knows exactly how many pages are in that guy's book. So it's just about patching that up.
Bring it close to you. Look at the first word on the page. If it's and, she, he, the, if it's any of those 5 words, we do a different one. Do you look at the first word?
Yep.
Close it.
That's also pristine mentalism. He's being manipulated into the direction of it seeming like a more fair choice than it is, which is it's a 0% free choice. With this he, then, and she, if line, again reinforces the perception, the illusion that Oz doesn't know what the word on the page is. And by saying that when you see Andrew actually sort of shake his head here,
he, the, if it's any of those 5 words, we do a different one.
See that when he's shaking, that's the gold, right? Because now he's being compliant with Oz's suggestions, which is like that's exactly what you want. That like you're done at that point, right? You are putty in the magician's hands. So from here on out, the trick is just banter. He knows exactly what the word is that Andrew is reading. It's just a matter of revealing that using your gift of the gab. So let's look at another version of this trick, which can highlight how little amount of time Oz needs with the book beforehand to enable him to do the trick. And that's completely exposed on the We Might Be Drunk podcast.
The list.
Get your fucking shine box.
Yeah, just kidding, but it got real serious
We
for a
got
second.
Mein Kampf and Offerman.
I think, dude, you know what I think of is, you know, the scene where Polly
Something's stuck
Walnuts
in here.
goes to the guy who can see the dead.
Psychic?
The psychic.
This
And he's
weird
like,
shit.
there's all kinds of bodies, and he's like, where the fuck did you figure that out? He starts throwing the chairs. God bless Polly Walnuts, man.
Nick Offerman, has he been on here?
He was on the most recent episode.
Whoa,
yeah.
let's do it. So here, do this.
You didn't.
Okay, so really don't underestimate how much skill level is in what Oz is doing right now. He is, at this point, reading the room, which is that they're engaged in a joke. They're telling a joke, they're all caught up in each other's attention. This is a perfect time for him to kind of just play around with the book. Yeah, something like this will work. Yeah, this is probably good. Perfect time to sneak that in there. Now, of course, remember the pieces of information that Oz needs to make this book trick work is he needs to know how many pages does book A have and how many pages does book B have. One of them is going to have more pages than the other. The one that has more pages is the book that you're going to use, and you're going to do the false start, right? You're going to do the rehearsed mistake where you feed them a page right towards the end so that you can butter them and lull them into this false sense of security and buy yourself time to sneak your finger in the spot that you do want them to choose. So he just needs to know that. And then of course on book A, assuming book B is bigger, in book A he just simply needs to go to any page that he wants, say somewhere in the middle, and read the first word on the page. That's all the information he needs. How long would it take you to count the pages in book A, the pages in book B, and then find which one's bigger, and then in the one that's smaller, pick a page number and memorize the first word on the page? Shouldn't take you longer than 15 seconds.
You know that,
Mentalist?
Should have
known. Nick Offerman fucking rules. We love him.
Good
and
guy.
he gave a Bodega Cat a nice plug, too.
You got that right.
This is his face. Is this good?
Stop.
Somebody stuck this note in here, so I don't even know.
Uh-oh.
What?
Who wants it? Who wants it? Should we get Jordan in?
Yeah,
Jordan.
Jordo.
Santa Claus to be real. She's like, I'm going to figure this out, damn it.
Yes.
There is a way. I'm not Harry Potter.
She's on antidepressants.
Simon.
Yeah.
Let's each of you get a book. Who wants, which one you want?
Of these two books?
Well, they're not mine. Did I give you these?
Of the two
Because she's going to dissect this.
Take a book.
These are my books. Have I
I will be giving you.
Okay.
Pearlman.
Okay, here's the game plan. Here's the game plan.
Okay.
We're going to do this in two ways. Are there photos in the middle?
Yes.
All right, I don't want, you know what? He's going to pick for you. Here's what I do.
I would say that there's a very subtle little mistake that O's made there, is he's trying to sell this idea that in this moment, he's just going to, okay, now you know what? He's going to pick for you. He wants that to seem like it's a kind of decision just that he's making in the moment for the sake of making the decision. Of course, the reality is that this guy has to be the one that picks the page number for her because he has the bigger book, so they can do the false start. The mistake that he made is that he actually just starts leaning towards him before he then does the pretend idea that he's going to choose him anyway.
Okay, here's the game plan. Here's the game plan.
Okay.
So there.
We're going to do this in two ways. Are there photos in the middle?
Yes.
All right, I don't want, you know what? He's going to pick for you. Here's what I do. Yell out, stop.
Stop.
Look at that page. Tell her what number it is.
Tell her out right now?
Out loud.
300.
Wow.
You want 300, 301?
300 even. Good move.
You go to either 300 or 301.
300, 301.
So as you can see, we're right near the end of the book. It's guaranteed to be too big.
Not enough pages?
Not enough pages.
Damn it. Simon, be a little more premature
Okay,
this
sorry,
time.
I'll be-
Yell out, stop.
Okay.
Mentalist, you're
182.
failing.
You hear the comment that the other comedian there, where he says, "Mentalist, you're failing." That's the strength of doing this false start. It does lull everyone into a false sense of security, which just means that everyone is completely off your trail, which is that the trick is essentially already done. The trick was done in front of all of them when he was sitting there just getting the information that he needed. The rest is some obviously very slight sleight of hand, and then incredible performance and control and gift of the gab. So we weren't able to see the camera angle here. I don't think the camera angle was able to show how he was able to do the force, but nevertheless he forces the page.
But go to that, hold it close to your face.
Well, that's 187. Shit, sorry.
And
Still got me.
182.
We got it.
Stop me.
Biden's age.
Yeah.
Here we go.
And I want you to look at the first word on the page.
Okay, so the trick's done at that point. He gets to go to page 182. That's what he's looked at earlier. And go to the first word of the page, which he already knows. Again, everything from here is just downstream, gift of the gab. We are going to look at a subtle variation on this trick that he does on the Burt podcast. And it's very interesting. I think it's again, just another little extra level of mentalism manipulation that Oz does, which is very interesting to watch.
That's what you want? That's what you... Dom.
Yep.
Close the book. Close it up. It's Dominic or Dom?
Either works.
We're at the Dom stage. All right, Dom, open it up.
Okay.
And I want you, can you come over, bud? Come on over next to me.
Hell yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
And you're gonna, whenever you want it, what I want you to see is I'm gonna start flipping through the pages and he's gonna pick for you. Dom is in charge of this one right now. So Dom, as I go, whenever you want, you just say stop.
Stop.
Okay, tell us all, what page are we at?
So very clear, only giving him a choice to choose a large number at the end of the book.
You say it, the number.
276.
Open yours to 276. That's what you want, that's what you get. No, Dom, come back.
Okay.
We need you.
Beautiful manipulation line, that's what you want, that's what you get. What's that doing? That's telling you free choice.
You're gonna pick something too?
Okay.
Oh, it's short. Oh, Dom, you might have gone too strong. This kid goes hard in the paint. She did that on how many pages? Go again, go again.
Okay.
Yell stop.
Stop.
Okay, 150.
In my opinion, a little bit too impatient there from Oz. Like, I know this guy's brilliant, but I would, if I was doing this trick, I would let her say that it's too many pages. I know Oz is looking, and so it's believable, and it's not the worst mistake in the world. But I don't know, maybe he's short for time. But in my opinion, you know, don't rush stuff. Don't rush. Be relaxed.
6. Open it up.
Now, this is worth talking about. So this time, you know, we saw that on the Flagrant podcast, he does the free choice, and then he does the finger in the book, and then the force choice. In this instance, I don't think I see the finger being used here to force the book number. So what does he do?
This kid goes hard in the paint. She did that on how many pages? Go again, go again.
Okay.
Yell stop.
Stop.
Okay.
Okay, that's a free choice. But the subtlety here is that he doesn't get the kid to read the number anymore. I'm pretty sure that Oz is stopping at any page the kid says, and then he's just saying the number that he wants it to be. He's not actually reading the page number off the book. He doesn't explicitly show it to the kid. He doesn't get the kid to read.
Okay. 156. Open it up.
He does show it, and I think that's just him being ballsy. You know, can you really read a page number from that far away? And he only shows it to Burt, and Burt, of course, is one of the biggest suckers for Oz's tricks. He calls himself a believer. And someone like Burt just he's not going to have the attention to detail, and he's not going to have the skepticism to actually check to see that book number is accurate. So yeah, I think that's a fair choice. However, the force is coming from the fact that Oz is just misreading the number to be the number that he wants.
Stop.
Stop.
Okay. 156. Open it up.
And that's again the importance of having the mistake beforehand, is it just makes this second one seem way more fair, super genuine, super legit. But at this point, of course, the trick is done. He knows exactly what the first word is on page 156. All he needed was 15 seconds with this book beforehand. So let's go to another force. What have we got? Oh, we got this force is awesome. So this is a dollar bill force, and this was used on the Flagrant podcast. I haven't seen anyone on YouTube explain how this force worked, so I think you should enjoy this.
We gotta make this exciting.
Okay.
We need some skin in the game.
Okay. Yeah.
You know what? Let's make this fun. Woo! Let's make it fucking rain in here. How's that sound? Wait, hold on. Let's go again. How's that?
Make it rain on you little bitches over there.
I don't want to touch any of the cards. So take those bills, and I don't.
So the first thing to recognize here is that he's got 2 piles of cash. Why does he do that? Every detail matters when you're operating at this level of manipulation. I hope that's clear by now. He needs a cast to choose not necessarily a certain bill, but a bill with a certain serial number on it, because he's set up, in case you haven't seen the trick beforehand, he's given the guy to his right, our left, he's given him a pile of cards that he's shuffled and then split into 3 piles. He then later gets Andrew to choose a contact in his phone, and then the phone number of that contact is going to match the serial number of the bill that Akash is about to choose, and it will also match the order of one of the 3 piles of cards that has been shuffled beforehand. That's a pretty incredible trick, but it relies, of course, on a force. Akash needs to choose a bill that has the serial number that works for the end of the trick. So how this is accomplished is Oz has 2 piles, and I would suggest that the first pile that he's about to throw up here, is one where all of the serial numbers on this pile are the same. And he throws it up nice and high. You can see it's off the screen right now. That's going to cause the radius of dispersion to be as wide as possible. That means that it's going to fly out, and you see that that's exactly what happens. Flies out all over the room, all over the table, behind the couch, and then he throws the second pile noticeably lower. The second pile is going to be a legit pile where every serial number on that is going to be different. The advantage of that is, of course, to cover your tracks. When you're going to do this, the first thing that people are going to think is, oh, well, this trick would work if every single bill was the same, right? And the trick is going to be much more impressive is if I pick up a random bill that's maybe right next to me right now and I look at it and it has a completely different serial number on it, that just creates and sells the illusion that everything was a free choice, that all these bills are different. They're not. The bills that landed first and wider all have the same serial number. The bills that are thrown second have different serial numbers on them. Then just look at the beautiful little, and this again, remember all of Oz's skills are in the tiny little details that you miss, because that's his job, is to exploit your brain's assumptions. So how does he get Oz to choose, how does he get Akash to choose one of the bills from the wider radius? Look how well he does it.
I don't want to touch any of the cards. So take those bills, and I don't want to touch anything. Throw those on the table. Throw those.
To move the bills away.
Just take the bills away,
Okay.
just so we can still see the cards. I like how Akash got lightly aroused when I just did
Yeah.
He was like, we going to the club, baby? We going to the club?
Hindu's not supposed to disrespect money. This is really making me feel like I gotta pick this up.
Any one of these bills, Akash, I want you to pick up anyone. Walk around, and pick up any one of those bills.
So every part about that was expert. The stutter, the stop, the idea of walking around. In my mind, we associate being able to get up and walk around with freedom. So it's literally making the choice seem even more free, because you would think that if someone was trying to force you into something, they'd put it right in front of your lap. They put it right on your plate. The idea of, no, the thing that I want you to choose is actually going to be out there in the world, that you need to get up and have a free choice and you're going to find it. It's honestly just insanely good manipulation. And he does it so well, the stutter and everything, the idea that he's processing. Of course, he knows that Akash has to get up and choose one of these bills from the outside for the reasons that we just went into.
Pick up anyone. Walk around, and pick up any one of those bills.
All right.
And fold it in half. So the present on the inside, give it a nice good crease.
Okay.
Hold it one more time. Precision, baby.
Don't you do this.
And sit on it.
Don't you do this.
Oof. You ever have the sensation?
Okay, so at that point, the force is done. The rest of the trick is accomplished using different forces. The Andrews contact, we might go into that more when we get to the dual reality stage. I think you probably get the idea by now, but the only concept that I want to drive home further is that when Oz gets someone to choose, and this is going to transition quite well into the dual realities part, because now we've laid the foundation. But the final force is the fact that don't think that cards need to be limited to playing cards. Cards are things that magicians can manipulate very well, and it's very easy to force someone to choose the card that you want. Things like books are a little bit harder, but not impossible to manipulate. Things like dollar bills, a little bit harder, but not impossible to manipulate. It's just that you've got to kind of have these very highly specific circumstances in which you can manipulate those items to force the choice that you want. With cards, you've just got a lot more variability. So there is an example on the We Might Be Drunk podcast where he does a force again, and this was accomplished, I believe, by having a deck of cards where the top pile... actually, let's just watch it.
Do Rex.
Yeah,
do Rex.
Rex.
Yeah, let's do another one. Let's do another one.
So listen, he thought, this is funny because every time I do this, I write down a name, collect names, and I write down names of famous people that people are either fascinated by or want to meet.
Yes.
Okay? Mostly alive, because, I don't know, it's primarily, here's what I want you to see. 50 cards, Ellen DeGeneres, Tom Cruise, Beyonce, Justin Bieber, Brad Pitt. Is everyone here familiar to you?
Sure, yeah.
Science,
Ryan
obviously.
Gosling, you just got aroused.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Drake, Jimmy Fallon, Oprah. Anyway, you're going to pick somebody. But I can't have you just look through and say, that's my favorite. Because now what if I looked you up? What if I follow you on Instagram?
Okay.
It's too obvious.
Okay.
I want it to be spontaneous.
Okay.
Kind of random.
So that good banter is, of course, the signal that a force is coming up. By saying that something has to be random, he's really saying it can't be a free choice.
Here we go.
You can see them all, and these are. Here, shuffle. Reach in. Make sure
randomly grab one. Random, grab one. Random. Okay.
Random.
Random.
Get one.
Boom.
Got one. Well, hold on. One more. Ian, you wanted the last one, so go hit it. Grab one. Go.
Are we supposed to see these?
Yes.
Okay.
Jordan, cover my eyes so I don't see a thing. Cover my eyes. Oh my God! Don't say it. Show everybody. Show the cameras. Make sure I can't see.
Is it your dad's name?
Both of us show? Both of us show?
Whatever. Dude. Show everybody whatever.
I've been saying this guy.
So at this point, he knows that this guy has Ryan Gosling. He knows that this guy has chosen Elvis Presley. There are a few different ways that this trick can work. Card tricks are there's just so many, literally thousands of ways that you can get people to choose cards that you want, all at completely different skill levels. There are forces that you can use on people that look pretty similar to what Oz was doing, where you're just kind of moving the cards in front of them and saying just grab anyone you want. There are high-level magicians who can do that and just get the timing perfect, and their banter is just perfect, and you just choose the card that they want every time. That's a real thing. That's a real skill. That takes years to get good at. And Oz has that kind of background, right? The other way that you could do the trick that would be a little bit more simple, it's still going to take some pretty serious sleight of hand because he's, shuffling things in front of them, is that you can have, and I think this is what someone else on the podcast reckons that they saw, which is that the top of the deck has different names, but then towards the bottom of the deck, you've just got, 20 different Ryan Goslings and 20 different Elvis Presleys, or even 10 different Ryan Goslings, 10 different Elvis Presleys, so that you know that when you get to that chunk, you know what it is. That's probably how, that's like at my skill level, which is pretty average, that's probably how I would do this, is I'd have maybe like 5 of each name, 5 of Ryan Gosling, 5 of Elvis Presley, 5 of Oprah Winfrey, and put them all in a certain section of the deck so that I go very quickly past all the random cards, because they're going to take some time before making the decision to choose. And then I'm just going to know, okay, you're in the Elvis Presley section now. Oh, okay, now you're in the Ryan Gosling section. Okay, now you're in the Oprah Winfrey section. That's probably how I would do something like this. Now, of course, he needs to force the trick because of what happens next, which is...
Definitely. What's this?
Blank card.
This card.
Yeah.
It's not that exciting. I give this to you. Goes in your junk drawer. You forget about me. No.
No.
You're gonna remember this for a while.
Ask you to do our podcast.
Hold on. Let me finish the thing before you start booking.
Scissors. Here we go. I'm starting with hair.
Oh God. Oh God.
So the reason I'm playing this is because it just cements the fact that this needed to be a force. Oz is going to start cutting this card, and you'll see what happens.
But this guy looks like
this is
this. I'm going to shit.
Oh baby.
Studying at the University of Michigan.
Oh my God, this is appalling.
Your in person's not smiling. First time in the whole thing, Ian's not smiling.
Now, just to say what's going to happen next, he's cutting the card to create a silhouette. So when he opens it up, it's going to be the shape of the person that he is, that he has forced that person to choose. There's no way that Oz can actually cut that level of detail and precision just on the spot, just chipping away with the scissors like that. So he's going to have to do a switch. So if you just want to see, his sleight of hand skills, watch him carefully here, and you'll see how can he get what is in his hand, which is just a ruined piece of card. How can he swap that out for the card that he wants? He may actually already have what he wants hidden in the hand. He just needs to ditch what he's got in his left hand as well.
Your person's serious, and you know what else? Earlier, you thought of Bill Murray, didn't you? Out of anyone, you thought of Bill Murray, alive and well, but right now you're getting somber on me, my man. I think this is a guy, am I right? Could have been a man or a woman, a guy. Tell us all, who is it that you're picturing at this very moment? You said you want...
So there was the ditch. When he put the scissors in his pocket, he also ditched the one that he just messed up, and now he's got the replacement, which is...
The tattoo, I'll do you one better. What's his name? Say it.
Elvis Presley.
King! Everybody say hello to Mr. Elvis!
Oh! This is insanity! Holy shit!
How is this possible?
Wow!
I've been talking about Elvis Presley so much lately.
The king!
Dude,
King!
Simon looks just devastated. This is...
It's just, you know what it is? It's just weird and it's not fun anymore.
All right, okay. So, by the way, that guy's comment is some people will react this way to these kind of tricks. You can overload people's mind with too much falsity, with too many illusions. that isn't a state that we like to be in. We like to make sense of the world. We like to think that we've got a pretty good grip on things. You can certainly overdo it with tricks like this, where people will get exhausted and they will get sick of it. And that's a genuine reaction that he's showing there. Okay, so we've covered glances, we've covered gimmicks, we've covered forces. The next is taking all this to a sort of a new level of difficulty in terms of the viewer trying to figure out what's going on. And that's the dual reality. And so in this case, we're not going to have any footage of O's doing the stuff that we can dissect and show is dubious and not exactly above board. And the reason for that is because all of the methods that we've just gone through can double as a dual reality modification of the trick to create an effect on a whole new level. And how this works is you pick any of the tricks that we've just looked at. You either pick like a book force or something, or you pick a rigged deck, or you use the telepathy pad to get someone to write down a name or something like that. And all you need to do is do it before the show. You just need to do it before the podcast starts recording. And you don't reveal what the name is. You just sit on that name. Okay, so maybe say you use the telepathy pad. You tell someone like Howard Stern to write down on this pad the word that was whispered by the, who was the singer? Valerie Harper. You can get him to write that word down ahead of time, in which case you just need to have the gift of the gab to come up with a good reason for why that person is writing things down. One that I might come up with is something like, you'd say, look, a lot of people try to prove me wrong on the show, and I just want you to think of like your first crush. I want to think of some information that I don't know, and I just want you to write it down here so that we can guarantee that I've got it wrong or that I've got it right. So I want you'll keep the piece of paper, you can keep it in your pocket, but that's all you need to do. So that would be one, which might be a little bit suspicious. Probably a better one to use would be a phone gimmick, where you essentially link your phone to their phone using the methods that we spoke about earlier with the app gimmick, and then getting them to just Google the name. So you might do like what he did with Jake Paul and say, can you just Google the name and make sure that it's not a common name? Their Google search appears up on your phone, and then you've got the word that you can use later in the podcast. So the secret here is that you don't want to refer to the method that you've used during the performance. And for O's, this kind of creates a risk. And we're going to go through some examples now of when it doesn't quite work out exactly like he wants. And you'll see that O's is going to be very quick to talk over the person when he's making the suggestion later during the show to make them remember and to link back to something that's happened before the show. They might get a little bit confused because he's not being super explicit. He's not saying, hey, that name that I got you to Google search earlier, remember that name now. Instead, he'll say, hey, Howard, I came to you before the show and I said, I want full transparency. I said, think of someone that there is no chance in hell that I would know. Is that right? And they would say yes. And at that point, the person knows that they're thinking of the name that you got them to Google without you having to even say that you got them to Google it. That's the dual reality. So in their mind, their reality is, oh, the person that I Googled. In our mind, the viewer's mind, it's just some random person and O's is going to figure it out. So maybe a good example would be, I think, yeah, we'll go this one. So we'll use Burt. We'll use the Burt podcast first to see this.
Reach out and you grab the first ingredient and you have it right in your hand. Hold out your hand.
You mean that?
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Hold out your hand. Hold out your hand. Yeah.
So that's all you need right there, right? Burt is he's saying, I want you to pick the first ingredient, and Burt is saying, you mean the one that and Oz is saying yes, because he knows the question that Burt is asking is, you mean the one that I wrote down on the notepad when you first came in? That's an example of that cover being blown, and you can see why Oz is very quick to not even let him finish the question, because he's not just manipulating Burt, he's manipulating you to create the perception that what's happening is spontaneous, or at least as fair as possible. A similar thing happens Here, in this case, you're going to see a dual reality where one of the hosts is going to reveal what happened before the show, where he's used a phone contact force, the up and down thing that we looked at earlier.
Finally stopping on one specific person. Did you find them? And take your time with it.
Is this the person from before?
Yeah, you've got somebody right in mind. Did you even know why you picked this person initially, or was it just totally random?
Totally random.
Okay. And then put it against your stomach once you found them.
This is the person that she picked before, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, when I say picked before, it's very
No,
important.
the random,
There's no,
the random.
this is like, you
The
didn't
random
tell
pick.
anybody. This is
No,
like
no.
somebody you just picked out of your phone for no rhyme or reason.
The scroll
In fact,
stopped.
when you first looked, you didn't even look. You were just kind of scrolling at, put it against your body. Now I can tell it's a guy.
So all of that is important. You're seeing the host here. You see the big smile on his face. When we talked about the two different kinds of groups, the people who enjoy magic, he's probably going to be more of the naive type, or just the more of the sort of joyful, innocent type who just wants to have a good time. He's not looking to be skeptical. He's not like he's bought in. He's trusting the whole narrative that Oz is spinning. He's going with the flow, right? He's not a skeptic, not someone like Dave Portnoy, which we'll look at soon. So when he says, "Oh, this is the one that you did before," right? That's just coming from a pure place of innocence. In his point of view, this doesn't stuff up the trick in any way. But for Oz, he knows that the skeptics are watching and they're being clued on to something, and so he tries to not engage too much with that. You see that it was revealed, even the method that they used was the scrolling and the stopping, right? And Oz is cementing, hey, you weren't even looking at the screen when you did that. He's doing a little bit of that rewrite history thing, and it's important to look at the words he uses to see how good he is at this.
This is the person that she picked before, right?
Yeah. Wait.
You can see a little bit of the frustration with Oz, like he doesn't want him to keep asking that. It's the second time he asked it.
When I say picked before, it's very
No,
important.
the random,
There's no,
the random.
this is like, you
The
didn't
random
tell
pick.
anybody. This is
No,
like
no.
somebody you just picked out of your phone for no rhyme or reason.
The scroll
In fact,
stopped.
when you first looked, you didn't even look. You were just kind of scrolling at, put it against your body. Now I can tell.
Okay, so you see that the first time you didn't even look, you were just kind of scrolling. So that's obviously a clue that what he used was the phone glance, where you turn the phone off as you pointed it down.
It's a guy. Am I right about that?
Yes.
Now, I don't know how your phone is laid out. I've never seen your phone, touched your phone.
So at this point, sorry, everything is just gift of the gab. He knows the choice, obviously, and the rest of it is just performance mode. The point is to just show you the dual reality, that if Oz had his way right then, he would never have said anything. She was being much more compliant. She already understood exactly who he was referring to, but this guy wanted to come in and get clarification on that, maybe because he was a little bit confused in his mind. And that's the risk with the dual reality thing, is that you're going to use language that's going to be slightly strange, and people, your target that you're using it on isn't going to know exactly why you're using such strange, ambiguous language, but they're generally, if they're cooperative, they're going to go along with it once they figure out what you're trying to tell them. Okay, we're going to look at another example of where this can all go wrong. This is on Bussin with the Boys. In this case, Oz has met with someone before the show, and he's asked them to think of their best friend, and then or one of their best friends, and then he's asked them to choose a name randomly from the list of contacts. So we've seen how both of those tricks could work using any of the methods that we've discussed already. But now they're being taken to this dual reality level where that initial method is not being disclosed to you, it's being referred to in a subtle way. What happens here is kind of interesting because the guy that Oz is doing this trick to gets his wires crossed, he mishears Oz's instructions, and it derails the trick, which of course is just the real test, and we'll see how Oz deals with that.
And so I heard their names, but I want to dig deep where if I say right in this moment, Jack, right now, think of one of your best friends. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Right, that, boom. How could I possibly know that? Are we understanding?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But look over here. Will Compton is going, but man, maybe he knew we'd be here. Maybe he looked up the crew. Maybe if it's your best friend, he could have gone on Instagram and see you just tagged in a photo, right? There's all these ways. So I don't want the front of your mind. I don't want something that could have been looked up. So I'm going in the back of your head, where you got a name in the back of your head that's picked absolutely at random. And it's a guy. Is that right?
Correct. And I want to make sure that everybody knows.
Okay, so O's starts with the best friend, or one of the best friends, and then he goes to, I'm going to do something in the back of your head, something picked completely at random. Those words are carefully chosen to manipulate you as the audience member who he knows is watching this podcast into thinking that he's coming up with something completely random on the spot. In effect, I think he does it just a little bit too quickly, and he's trying to get this guy to think of the phone selection, but what's actually happening is the guy didn't quite make the switch, and I think he might still be thinking of that close friend.
That you have not written anything down, you have not said a word to anybody, literally random as can be. You picked one person that isn't even one of your best friends, I assume.
See again the power of the dual reality line of you didn't even write this down, you haven't written this down anywhere. No, you haven't, because it was done using the phone glance.
And you got his name in the back of your head right this second, is that right?
Yes.
Okay, let's watch. Think, is it a first and last name, I'm assuming?
Yes.
All right. This is not written down. This is nowhere. This is in his brain. Is that true? I want to make sure.
For everybody watching, I swear to God, this is random.
I want you to count the number of letters in this person's name just to yourself. Please don't use your fingers or something. Okay. Can we see him right now? I don't know what the situation with the bus is.
I'm trying to read his body language just like you.
Are people listening to this on a podcast a lot of the time?
Yeah, Spotify, Apple, YouTube,
so I'm going to
Rumble.
narrate what I'm thinking. So if you're not watching this and seeing this beautiful mustache and me in a suit, I'll tell you what's going on. So I watched Jack while he was thinking of this name. Yeah. When he thought of somebody in the front of his mind, then changed his mind to somebody else, went to the back of his head and he's seeing this guy. And I watched your eyes and it took you a little while to count, right? If that name is quick, if that name was Doug or Ben, it would have been fast. But if it's Sherman, that's a struggle right there. That takes longer to count. And I watched your eyes and you went like this, da-da-da, and then you did it. You broke it into two pieces. And it felt like the two pieces were almost equal. I watched you. Da-da-da. Was it 7 letters?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, 8. You just counted the second time. It's 8, isn't it?
It's actually.
Don't say.
Not say anything.
It's actually, he was about to say 6, but he counted 7. He miscounted the first time because 2 of the letters are the same. And so he wasn't sure and they were at the end. And it's an L, but we thought it was 1 or 2. Russell. Is his name Russell?
Okay.
Is it Russell, Jack?
He's off.
Okay, so.
Whoa, hold on, stop. Was that the guy you picked? Was it Russell was the first guy you picked? Am I right?
Incorrect, but I don't.
So you can see the second dual reality attempt, right? O's obviously knows something's gone wrong here. So he's trying to say, hey, is that the guy you picked? Really trying to cement that he's making sure that this guy isn't coming up with a name right now in the moment. He's not coming up with a free choice. He's coming up with the choice that happened beforehand using some method that we're not too sure about.
I don't know how we go about this because I don't want to spoil anything else.
Hold on. Don't tell me the other name.
Okay.
That's also very interesting. A lot of people will just comply in situations like this. If you have the level of charisma and the level of control and the level of status that someone like O's has, people who feel like that they're much less status and who aren't, the kind of pesky types who are going to try to ruin your trick in front of everyone, a lot of people just want you to succeed. They want your trick to go well. They don't want to ruin the show. And that's like this guy.
Okay.
You looked at somebody and you changed and you went to the last one. Were you thinking of Russell? Was there a point at which you thought of Russell? And you said, Russell Smith. Is that his last name too?
No, but
no?
Wait. Dude. Hold on.
Oh my God. What the fuck is happening right now?
Is Russell Smith the last person you talked to and you were thinking of?
Show the camera.
The first fucking name on the top of my contacts is Russell Smith. I'm not bullshitting. This is what was pulled up on my phone earlier. This is the top contact on my phone.
When he's telling you to scroll and stop?
Yes, it is. I haven't touched it. It's Russell Smith.
It's Russell Smith. And there's only one L.
Now, when you in your brain, was that the end result, or are you being like, "How did I miss this?"
I didn't miss anything. That's who he just told me he thought of. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know who he changed his mind to. Because I said, "Don't do your best friend." He thought of Russell Smith, and then he said, "I don't know this guy well enough," so he was trying to think of someone else. But he knows that was who you're thinking of. That's why he's freaking out.
Who the hell is Russell Smith?
Yes, it's pretty good damage control by O's. I'm not too sure exactly what's happened. I think probably my best guess now is that when he did the phone scroll, he maybe didn't make it clear enough that he was supposed to read the name at the top of the list. Maybe he just kind of randomly chose another name from the list, or it could have been what O said, that he actually just completely chose a brand new name. But yeah, lucky that this guy was able to at least remember that there was something going on. My theory that he chose the name halfway down is because I think that would have helped him think, oh, maybe it was the name at the top, because the others would have been R names. But in any case, you get the reveal here. That's the ultimate thing that I want you to get from this, is just that O's will talk in such a way, because initially when he was trying to guide his target towards Russell Smith, he was wanting to say, do you remember that time we did the trick where we scrolled your contacts up and down and then you randomly choose a contact and it's the one at the top of the list? That's what he wanted to say, but instead he has to do it sort of in code, in this subtle, ambiguous sort of language, and say, just someone that we chose at random, right? You just completely at random, hoping that that person will remember the correct thing beforehand. And most of the time it's going to work, and when it works, it pays off in a big way. But there is a way that you can make it even better. You can use this dual reality principle at an even higher level of manipulation, and this is actually something that he used on Joe Burrow a second time. So Joe Burrow is, of course, famous for the tricks where he predicts the passes that are going to be made before Joe Burrow makes them. We could watch those, but I think it's been done to death, and no, maybe we should. We'll watch those. So the Joe Burrow trick is going to use a force. So that's when he's going to have a bunch of cards that will have players' names on them, and he just forces Joe Burrow to choose randomly and forces him to choose the cards that he wants. And that's because I think that trick worked where the jersey numbers of the players was going to line up with someone's PIN code, and so that's how that trick was done. Now, when you understand the dual reality principle, when you're looking at Joe Burrow react to the trick as it's happening, you see that how he reacts to the trick is very different to the crowd. So in that basis, let's actually just look it up. Oh, God, come on.
Coach, what if I could look a QB in the eyes and tell you exactly who they're going to throw the ball to next? Now we're talking. Have we ever spoken a word in our life?
No.
All of my wide receivers, tight ends, and running backs. Stand up, please. Look at me. Do one look around the room and look back at me, please. Your team, baby. I'm gonna show them. Go ahead. Anybody in this room, who are you throwing it to first?
Trenton.
Trenton. Hang back, throw it back one more time. Now hear me out. One is luck. Double down. Saw that look? Who's next? Go.
Andre.
Toss it. Because I'm already done before you even did. Come on back.
Now, you can see the dual reality principle in play right now. Joe is obviously much less impressed with this trick than than everyone else in the crowd. And that's because for Joe, a different trick is happening. Joe is running off a script. Now, not a script as in you must pass it to this person, but in a way, yes, that kind of script. By using cards beforehand with the different players' names printed on them, by using a force saying, all right, Joe, I want you to not just choose, someone because then I'm able to maybe read you. I want it to be random, and then justify the card force. You can kind of see how Joe is throwing it. He's not even really, he's not deciding in the moment. He's just going, oh, yep, I throw it to this guy first, and then I throw it to this guy. And as a result, he's deflated, He's not really enjoying the trick as much as everyone else. He's not being like, oh my goodness, what the heck, I just made a choice and this guy predicted it. That's not happening, and that's explained by this dual reality principle.
Close your eyes. Visualize. Before you get on that field, you visualize over and over what you're going to do. Go ahead. Show me your last play. Go.
Tanner.
Fakes to Jamar. Throws to Tanner.
Okay, so this is also some very high-level dual reality stuff coming in. In this case, we've got a fake, right? And then an actual pass. And so this, again, you're going to have to come up with exactly how Oz was able to put up that idea in his mind. But what he would have done is, instead of saying, you know, we're going to pass it to a player, we're going to pass it to a player, and then to make it even harder, we're going to do a play. Okay, we're just going to do a very simple play. So why don't we do a play with a fake pass? And then he does the random choice again. So you're going to fake pass it to this person, and then you're going to actually pass it to that person. And so he triggers that in Joe Burrow's mind by saying, what play? What play are you going to execute now? The fact that he says play is just the signal for Joe to execute the trick that he did. It's not a case where it was simply, hey Joe, pass it to someone, and then Joe decides that he's going to fake it and then pass it to someone else. It's very deliberate that he's executing something that he's already thought about minutes, maybe even hours earlier.
QB, you want to read someone's mind? Let's do it.
Okay, so that's the dual reality trick. How can you take this to another level? Well, he does take it to another level with Joe Burrow. And in this case, you're going to see some beautiful things that sort of back up what I just said in terms of Joe Burrow is understanding what's happening, that he understands that everyone is reacting to something different than what he's reacting to.
Is what if, instead of you being with your team, with the Bengals, I give you a fantasy draft of any player that's ever played, period. NFL greats, past or present. You're doing an Omaha through. You're throwing the ball to one person. Close your eyes right now. Close your eyes, please. See this person in front of you right now. Can you imagine him?
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you one question. Did you instantly know when I asked you who you were gonna go with, or were you on the fence?
I was on the fence.
You were on the fence, right? I love that when people are indecisive. But the strongest QBs always deliver under pressure. Keep your eyes closed. Could you swear to God, I did not tell you who to say right now?
No.
There's no setup, folks.
Okay, so the beautiful thing that's happening here that is just next level manipulation is being able to say the line, you don't even know who you're going to choose right now. You're on the fence. The key about saying on the fence is that when you're on the fence, there are two choices. You either fall this side of the fence or you fall this side of the fence. So the modification here is that before the show, instead of giving him one choice of player, instead we're going to force two. And then he gives him both of those choices and says, you know, you can choose whichever one you want on the show. Don't tell me which one you're going to choose. Keep it to yourself. And you don't even make that decision until we're live on air. But what this does, right, is by saying you don't even know who you're going to choose in this moment when he's live on air, all of us think that he could choose from thousands. But he knows that he's only choosing between two. In which case you might then think, okay, well, sure, fair enough, but how does he get it right? Because he says Randy Moss and then...
Joe Burrow could have thought of anybody. Tell us all, you're Omaha through. Who's catching that ball? Who's scoring the touchdown? Open your eyes, tell me.
Randy Moss.
Randy Moss. Yo, make some noise out there.
Joe, do you have questions?
Oz is wanting the trick to hit a little bit harder than it did because it's really brilliant what he's come up with, or what his team's come up with, this idea of being able to get that line in. You know, you don't even know who you're going to choose in this moment. I'm going to play for you just the next few seconds where Joe Burrow sort of reveals how he feels about the earlier trick that we just watched.
I thought I had it figured out when he did it in Cincinnati, but this one didn't work out the same way, so now I'm confused again, I would say.
That's what I like to do. I like to keep confusing you, up in the ante.
So, exactly. Before in Cincinnati, it was the case where the player name was forced directly to him. This time, he was given a choice between two, and he just happens to choose the one that Oz gets right. Now, that's the explanation. O's just guesses. One of those 50. It's going to be a 50-50 split. If he's wrong, then there's a recovery that he can use. And we've seen him do that in other tricks where he says, I love this moment. Anyway, I won't spoil anything just yet. We'll go into where he uses the exact same principle with Charles Buckley.
Well, let's see if that plays out. That's a big win. All right. And before we go further, I'm going to hold you to it. Charles, if I had you pick a player, okay, 64 teams started this, and I had you pick one, right when I snap my fingers. Now, be honest, because everyone says scripted stage. On your life, you do not know which player you're about to say at this very moment, do you?
I do not.
Okay.
That right there is the gold. To be able to say, everyone thinks this is scripted, everyone thinks this. On your life, you don't know who you're going to choose in this moment. The power of that line is just insane. It is so persuasive because so many people, love Charles Buckley and are going to be like, well, this guy's not going to cooperate, because that would be one explanation. He's just simply lying, right? He's just simply acting even right now. Most people know that that's not the case. Charles Buckley isn't going to cooperate like that. And in fact, he doesn't. He like Oz just gets handed the gold, and then Oz shits all over it. Watch what happens.
You gave me two.
Hold on. Yeah, back and forth. Imagine you dribble.
Ruins it. You gave me two. He goes from creating the perception that he has a free choice between 64 different teams to now the fact that Oz gave him two. Oz forced him to choose between two different teams.
Back and forth.
And of course, Oz, wants to scurry over that very, very quickly, talk over him, doesn't want to belabor that point too much.
Now, be honest, because everyone says scripted stage. On your life, you do not know which player you're about to say at this very moment, do you?
I do not.
Okay.
You gave me two.
Hold on. Yeah, back and forth. Imagine you dribbling back and forth, going back and forth. You pick 64 teams down to this, and when I snap my fingers right at this moment, you pick one of those players. You go back and forth.
Wait, do I say it?
Don't say it.
Okay.
Just think it.
Okay.
Watch him. You still don't know who you're going to say, do you?
No.
Don't say it. Look at me. You just decided on one just this second. Is that right?
Yes.
64 teams, 5 starters, down to this. Think of this player's jersey, his last name on the back. Look at me. Count the number of letters in his last name to yourself.
Okay.
It was quick, right?
Yeah.
I saw it. You know what? Right now. So when people in the comments say, no, wait, change your mind right now. Change your mind, other player. Change your mind right this second.
Okay.
Say it.
So that's the contingency plan. In this case, he has the prediction already written in the envelope, so he can't change that. It has to be completely fair. These guys are going to open an envelope and reveal what the choice is. But Charles Buckley is choosing between two different players. One of them is going to have a short last name. One of them has a long last name. So Oz doesn't want to take the 50-50 chance here. So he says, hey, choose whatever you want. And then he's going to do the quick little count the letters in his name. And this is where you can use some actual body language reading stuff, which is if some guy's last name has 3 letters in it, or another guy's last name has 12, then there's no way that someone's going to go, okay, and you're not going to know who they're thinking of. At that point, you steer the trick how you want. If they've chosen the correct person, then you let them stay with that choice if it matches the envelope. If it doesn't match, then you use this script, which is, okay, you know what? We're going to make this even better. I want you to switch at the last second. And of course, he just switches to the only other option that he had.
Who did you just change to?
Richardson.
Michigan State.
Yeah.
In there, when you look, this was sealed 2 weeks ago. There's a photo. Can you look inside, please? Is there a photo? Look inside before you do a grab. There's one photo. Take it out. Swear to God. I'll give you one on 20th. That Michigan State will still be in the game.
Okay, so there's one more dual reality principle that I want you to see, and this for a lot of people is one of Oz's best tricks, and it's known as the Lego trick. Check this out.
This is so crazy. They think you're colluding because this couldn't happen. I want everyone to know there's zero collusion. I can't even fathom. How did you even understand? He's not going to tell you. Hold on.
I don't know how to go from
Honestly,
here. This one's supposed to be the middle, not the finale, Joe. I had Joe teed up, but now Andrew's having a breakdown on air.
Hold on. Can I say this? This one's a serious situation.
No, I know. It is serious.
This is at a whole other level.
So when you've done a lot of these tricks like Oz has, and he's done this thousands upon thousands of times, when you get to interact with someone like this, you know that they are putty in your hands. This is someone who is loving the attention of being mystified. This is someone who is just enjoying the trick. This is someone who has no problem, blowing you up, saying how absolutely crazy what is happening is. That person is going to be extremely cooperative, and we're going to see how he utilizes and exploits that cooperation in just a second.
How do you?
Andrew is worried what else I know right now,
Well, that's
to be
right.
honest.
That's right.
A.K.A. Jonathan. You know, I told you.
I thought there was no way. No way. I figured you could guess the first part. Maybe. I mean, maybe. I don't
said
know.
AI is everything that we're talking about. You saw that.
but still.
Don't do an AI company. Don't you dare.
I won't know.
So, what did I ask you to do during commercial break? Hold on.
You had like a bunch of cards, and they all were
100 companies.
So in that case, again, O's didn't want him to say that he had a bunch of cards. O's just wanted to say that you chose a random company. The less information O's can give to trigger that guy's memory, the better. Because then the bigger we are going to make it as secondary viewers to the trick as to how impressive this choice was. But this guy unfortunately ruins it right out the gate and says, you gave me a bunch of cards. That should be a clue that there was a force used. The combination of cards and the use of the word random means that there was a forced selection. And you'll see exactly why it needed to be a forced selection.
Here's the thing. So I tell Joe, pick a random company.
Yeah, you did.
And I feel like senior leadership is what matters at various companies because it's from the top down.
I'm sorry, I can't even get over what just happened here.
This is why I don't want him to do anything to me, because I'm scared of Ouija boards and stuff like that, because I don't want to be like...
You picked a random company.
Yes, I did.
You just picked a random company.
Off the
Do
cards.
you know?
I didn't know, but I know now.
Do you know the CEO of this company?
I do now.
Okay. Count how many letters are in this person's first name.
Yeah.
It's fast, too fast. It's too fast. 4 letters, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Hold on. Here we go. I think I got the name. He did this too obvious. We want a tight shot on Joe when I get this. Close your eyes for me, Joe.
I know you're going to get
Can
it.
everyone see that?
I know
Can
you're
everyone
going to
see that?
get it. So I'm not going to. All right. I'm not going to be surprised.
Close your eyes. First name is Mark. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And get Joe on this. Can we get Joe on this? I want to make sure we get Joe. No, close your eyes, Joe. Can we get Joe? I'm trying to see him on camera. Joe, do me a favor. Tell us all which company. Open it up. Meta, Zuckerberg. Is that right?
No.
What do you mean?
That's not the one I got.
Which company is it? Who's the person?
He's going to get it. Mark Klaus.
Mark Klaus.
Campbell's Soup.
Campbell's Soup? I'll go with Campbell's Soup.
Holy! I can't even say this is not fair.
I'm sorry. Spooky music.
What if though?
So there's a double aspect here that really shows that it needed to be forced. I mean, not just the fact that he's obviously come with this prop, but he also needed the word Mark. So we needed to force him to choose someone that would be a CEO of 2 different companies. So I didn't even really need to say that, but that's just really reinforcing the fact this needed to be a completely forced choice. And O's, the sleight of hand there was great. What a great payoff. Super entertaining.
Here's the question. What if you had picked a different, you know what, fill in the blank on that, because people always ask me, what if?
So this is what I want you to pay attention to. This is where a very cooperative member who is very impressed with what's happening and is enjoying themselves, this is where you can manipulate them to achieve the impossible.
He had done something different. So tell me, what if he had picked, give us a phrase there, what if he had picked, say it.
I don't know, like CEO of like the Lego company or something. I don't know, some crazy thing.
What's that? What if you had picked what?
CEO of, I just said Lego.
Lego?
I was thinking of a company I don't know the CEO of.
If he would have picked Lego, then Joe, I think we're ready to go. I think I'm ready if he would have picked Lego.
Okay. Can I just say something for a second? I just need to say something. I know we're on TV, but this is crazy.
Did you just come up with Lego for the first time ever?
So this guy's onto it, right? He's onto the fact that maybe there's something happening beforehand. You know, it's actually a force, and everything is just kind of a gift of the gab sort of presentation stuff that happens downstream of that. So he has to ask him that question. But that guy's also very close. Like he said, he's not interested in Ouija boards and this kind of stuff. He doesn't want to be possessed. That's what a mind who is open to those kind of interpretations, that's what they're going to start leaning towards when they have no other rational explanation for what's happening. So that's why it's important that he asks him, and this is where you just get the cooperativeness. This guy is about to lie.
It's honest. I'm telling you, this is insane what's happening here.
It happens every time.
This is not like some kind of scam. I feel like...
No, but I think he's evil. To be able to do these
Powers only for good, Joe.
How did you do that?
I don't know. I don't know.
How did you just do that part?
It came out because I thought I ruined things when it wasn't Zuckerberg.
So again, it's worth just kind of playing here what Oz does. So he says, what if?
What? He had picked, say it.
I don't know, like CEO of like the Lego company or something.
Where he's working out that what Oz is asking him to do is to think back to the company that, again, he forced on him during the break, during the pre-show. And that would have been with the cards as well. So he forces Lego on the guy, and that's been sitting in his mind. It hasn't been utilized yet until right at this moment. And that guy's working it out. That's what the stuttering is. And then...
I don't know, some crazy thing.
What's that? What if he had picked what?
CEO of, I just said Lego.
Lego?
I was thinking of a company I don't know the CEO of.
If he would have picked Lego, then...
And again, remember this principle that Oz uses. Oz can start very general, just like with the dual reality, with the two options, sitting on the fence with Charles Buckley and Joe Burrow. He can ask the guy, hey, if there was any other company, and he says, say he does come up with a random company like NASDAQ or something like that, right? Oz can then say, all right, well, how about, was there anything else? What was the one that you were thinking about before that? And then he would say Lego, and then the trick still plays out perfectly well.
Joe, I think we're ready to go. I think I'm ready if you would have picked Lego.
So I think that's probably a good note to end on in terms of the trick analysis. We are ready to go. We've done, it's taken us a long time, but we've done it. We've done glances, we've done a whole bunch of gimmicks, we've done a whole bunch of forces, and now we've seen how all of these tricks can be elevated to a new level when you're willing to introduce this dual reality principle, where you do things before the show but don't finish them and complete the trick on the show in a way that makes it look like it's a brand new trick. And the more you can do that, the more impressive it's going to be. So in this final section, we're actually going to look at what Oz is really trying to build here, which is of course what makes all of these tricks work, which is that he's a mentalist. Now, at this point, you should know what a mentalist really is. If you didn't know, at this point, if you stuck it through this point in the video, you know what a mentalist is. And that is, a mentalist is a magician who brands themselves in a particular way. A mentalist is someone who is always trying to push you towards the explanation that how they're able to do what they're able to do is because they have some very deep advanced knowledge of human psychology, of human body language. Now, the thing is, at this point, because you've seen how Oz is able to accomplish these tricks, the mentalism isn't going to work on you anymore. That is dead. You've seen too much behind the curtain where that paradigm of Oz being someone who's reading people, you're just going to see it for what it is, which is just clever and very skilled banter in the moment to create the illusion that he's figuring things out. Oz at this point is now going to use this dual reality thing in a whole new way. And I'm glad you've stuck around for this because it's super fascinating to see. You see, Oz is going to know there are going to be people like me and now people like you and plenty of people in the comments sections. And it seems to be maybe even half of the people who watch him, or probably less, maybe 30% of the people who watch him, are going to know that he's being dishonest in some way. He's doing some kind of trick that he's not really figuring things out. But they're also going to encounter tricks that they can't figure out. There's going to be a bunch of people who are going to just believe that Oz is legitimately able to do what he is claiming he's doing, which is read minds or read body language. For Oz, however, in his mind, he's got a very clear delineation between two different kinds of people.
I literally created two people. The same way you have an agent, your agent negotiates your deals.
Yeah.
Right? They do bad cop. You're like, I don't want to do this gig. You tell them that, right? You don't want to get on the phone. You're Andrew. You're the nice guy.
Yeah.
So if you can create a disconnect that you just somehow slice in my brain where I decided they aren't insulting me. They don't know me.
They're insulting the circumstance.
They're insulting. Nope. I had like in my mind, there's Oz the entertainer, there's Oz Pearlman. These are two different people. You know, it's like a Sia and like it's like the Daft Punk guy. One's got the helmet, one takes it off, he takes his kids to school. Nobody knows who he is.
Now, Oz the performer is trying to steer people away from interpreting what he's doing as magic tricks. So he has a couple ways of explaining that. For example,
you learn the trick because the thing is the trick. I live in Brooklyn, but I'm not Brooklyn, bro.
Do you remember the first magic trick you ever learned?
100%.
What was it? And can you do it?
I don't do it anymore because it's a gimmick.
Got it.
So it's like it's a trick deck, which I don't want to reveal, but there's when you're younger,
you start learning with trick things.
Yeah.
So they're, you know, it's kind of
The
like a
quarter
magic
that
kit.
bends, it looks like you could
get
buy
like
it, yeah.
things that you learn the trick because the thing is the trick.
Yeah.
Right? If I gave it to you, you could do the same trick.
Yeah.
Versus if I gave you 2 books, you could not do the same trick as the hope. You need to. I am the trick.
Yeah.
So I am the show. I could get dropped off with no luggage and do a show for 5,000 people by going to Staples for 10 minutes. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
Like I want to have. I don't want people to think that box. When I see Copperfield, love Copperfield, but I go, if I had that box, could I do that thing? That's the thought that goes in my head. I'm like you. I'm just like you. I want to figure out how the hell it works.
Yeah.
And that's how I became a mentalist.
In recent times, has anyone ever figured out how you did the trick, like right after you did it?
If you're on YouTube, it's just like the power of the internet. Somebody will.
So you see, what's important about what he said there is he's creating a delineation in your mind between magicians who use gimmicks, like sawing a woman in half with the box, and then mentalists like him, where he is the trick, where it's about his skills that he's using. And that the beautiful thing about this is, in a way, he is right. A lot of what we've analyzed in this video so far has been him using techniques of manipulation to create an illusion that he's doing something other than what he's doing. And that is a kind of mental trick. And so perhaps he can accurately lay claim to the title of mentalist. It's just that it's a sort of a funny situation, a kind of catch-22, where a mentalist is really someone who is an expert at manipulating your mind into thinking that they can manipulate your mind much more than they actually can. The masterful thing that Oz is doing here is he's kind of telling you the truth while at the same time pushing the illusion that he has skills that he doesn't actually have.
Dissect it, but it's amazing because 99% of them are wrong. And they're so entertaining to listen to, but then you always find that one hidden one that has no up likes, and I'm like, yep, that dude knows what's up. Everything right. Like, boom, 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 here's what you did, here's what you did. You misdirected them here, this is when you did that. At 2:30, you said that one thing, he knew that, and then and I'm like, yo, this is, you know what you're talking about.
So that's very powerful manipulation again. So now so the manipulation is still continuing here, but it's manipulation in terms of who he is as a performer or as a professional, essentially. You can see the context of his explanation now is completely different. He's not in performer's mode, right? He's not controlling the situation. He's just laying back, laughing with the boys, having a conversation. But he's still in performer mode. He still is trying to push you down a particular pathway of interpretation. And by setting up, by saying that, oh, there's this one person in the backlogs, in the back pools of YouTube who has no likes, and he was able to explain everything I did. And at 2:30, he misdirected them there, and then he did this little thing here, and he did that there. He's manipulating you even with that explanation because he's making what he does sound more complicated than what it actually is. The answer is just, oh, you got him to write it down before the show and you peeked. Or, oh, you glanced at the book just then. Or, oh, you have an app that allows you to read whatever they type on their phone. That's not a complicated trick to explain. What's maybe complicated and why this video has taken so long is we've broken it down bit by bit and we've looked at all the little subtle manipulation tactics that he used to make the trick good. I'm not saying that any of you, now that you know how he does the majority of his tricks, that you could go do them. No, you couldn't, because you don't have his level of performing ability. You don't have his gift of the gab. So again, Oz is big on drawing this distinction between magic tricks and mentalists. And as we've seen, everything that he does is essentially a magic trick. So he has a strong investment in creating this diversion between magic tricks and mentalism.
How did you get into doing magic, and is that what I should call it?
So it's kind of like magic, but it's the next level of magic. Magic of the mind.
And how do you do it?
Watch people, analyze how they behave, know what they're about to do, plant thoughts in their minds.
It's like, kind of. That's kind of true, right? He kind of does those things. But if he was being completely honest, he would have said sleight of hand. And maybe sleight of hand is what he's referring to when he says plants thoughts in people's minds. But it's certainly not what people are going to think when they hear plant thoughts in people's minds. And so he's doing another kind of dual reality thing where he's kind of giving answers that are, in an abstract sense, they're kind of honest, but he's fully aware that that's not how people are interpreting him at all. Probably the best example of seeing, to bring this all to a close, to tie it back, is to that there are these two different kinds of people who are going to react to magic tricks. Those who enjoy the feeling of wonder and awe, and those who want to figure stuff out. And what's really fascinating is to see how Oz can pander to either one of those groups, depending on who he's dealing with. But what happens when you get both of those people in a room at the same time? Well, that's exactly what happened on the BFF podcast with Dave Portnoy.
I'm not psychic, man.
How
I don't know. I don't know what he...
There's just, where are the cameras? This has to be, there's no way. There's no way.
Porco Main, Will Smith, Amsterdam 5.
Well, that last one, I'm going to rewatch the tape. I don't know when he's getting close to you, what's going on there.
How
I don't know what he was doing.
It was
yeah, but why did he get close to you?
Also, everything was stapled and sealed.
She said Amsterdam when she was holding her hand tight, Dave.
I did.
I'm going to rewatch this like 1,000.
This is
Dave
crazy.
just
Just buttons. There's a lot of chest hair showing.
That's fucking crazy. That's crazy.
No,
Like, I have chills. I'm spooked.
So it's a magic trick.
I mean, it's
You're not reading my... Yeah,
no,
you're
I'm not psychic, man. I know how to read people. I mean, I can assure you.
Bullshit, there's something going on. I don't know what
is
you're
the
doing.
trick here? How did I know the word you picked, Dave?
You're not reading. I don't know how you did that, but it wasn't even on my mind. There was nothing to read. I'm just like, gee, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
You got to be a wizard or something.
I think you're a wizard, low-key.
You're going to tell us or what?
No, not as good for my job security. A lot of tequila. Tell me, I get me wasted. I'll tell you. Then I got to kill you. It's very, very strict rules.
Okay.
Little surprise to kick off. I don't even know what day of the week it is. Tuesday?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's Tuesday.
A couple days later, ran the marathon. Feeling good now.
It's kind of interesting, you know, he straddles these two lines. On the one hand, he's sort of blatantly lying to Dave when he says, I don't read minds, I read people, which is another sort of clever tactic that gets a lot of people buying into the act, which is, you know, this idea of distancing himself from psychics, from charlatans who pretend to talk to the dead and things like that. He's not one of them. What he's doing is more scientific. He's reading people. That's really clever persuasion. But, you know, he saw that with Dave, it wasn't working. He just wasn't. When Dave didn't buy that, he said, I read people, Dave. And Dave's like, bullshit. Like, someone like Dave, like, credit to him. That's what an independent thinker does. That's what someone who understands that there's something going on. That's a great mind, and that's why Dave is who he is. The younger ones, who you can kind of almost tell looking at their faces, are more naive and more impressionable. They even explicitly said, yeah, I think he probably is reading minds, or I think he's a wizard, low-key. That's real. People will react like that. And then what's fascinating is you see how these two people react. You'll get Dave Portnoy's coming in and being like, come on, like, what's going on here? Let's figure this out. He wants to get back to the world of logic, which does reign supreme, by the way. But the people who don't, they now take up arms against Dave. That's the fascinating thing, is you can pit people against each other. And that's why I started this by saying that there are these two groups. They're the people who want to hang on to the awe. They like that. And when you come in with your skepticism, they're going to react negatively to you because you're attacking what they want to hold on to. Burt is another example of someone, you know, he has this great moment on the podcast where he says, I believe.
When I said to myself, I don't believe. I want him to win, but I don't believe. And when you said allspice, I went, I believe. You could have had a religion. You could have had a religion. 100 years ago, you could have a religion.
I know. I really missed my window.
Do you realize that?
Yeah.
You know, there are other examples on the Rich Roll podcast. Oz is able to talk about the fact that he's reading people because they fall into these patterns.
That are great. And it was funny because as I do it, I actually show people how I'm doing it. I go, look, you said this number. And so in your mind, you thought, because I made him lie. I do a lot of stuff where I explain to people, how do you detect if someone's lying? Now, it's not 100%, but how can you see things when someone's lying? And then how do you deconstruct the lie? So if I tell someone, think of a color, but tell me a different color. Generally, if they tell me a different color, I can actually tell them, or a number. If they lie, I can tell you what you actually thought of based on how you lied. And so I showed the audience how to do it in a very simplistic way, something they could kind of try later. just in this context, not something we could do right this second because it was a finance company.
To further drive this distinction between mentalism and magic tricks, he has lines where he talks about magic tricks being below his pay grade.
A magic trick is if I say pick one out right now, right, Will, and then he picks one out and then he puts it back and then I find it. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. Come on, that's below my pay grade.
I love doing that though.
And it works. There are a good portion of people who buy into the notion that he really did make him choose that particular bill.
It is a little disappointing how easily led you are whenever you get pulled by this. That's the thing that I'm like, oh man, I went to the exact fucking dollar bill he knew I was going to go to. How did I do that?
That's part of it, but also the fact that that's how scammers work. So like if I were to switch careers, I could be a scammer tomorrow.
And this leads me to what Oz's biggest trick of all actually is, and that is the book coming out on 28th of October, where again he uses this kind of doublespeak to make sure that he is straddling the fence between these two groups of people. He will tell people that this book that's coming out is not going to teach you to be a mentalist. He says that over and over.
Or what is your book going to cover? Like, are you going to give any kind of practical ideas to teach?
100%. So it's how to apply my craft, how to apply the principles of mentalism to your everyday life, like at work, at home, in your relationships. How could you read people more effectively? How could your memory be stronger? All different ways that you can take my skills, and you're not going to be a mentalist probably tomorrow. You know, most people don't want to. If you want to learn, you could do that from a different book. But what are the skills I have that are transferable to you? Like, how do you become memorable? How do you know if somebody's really lying to you or telling the truth? Like, stuff like that is very useful. So it's a mass market book. It's not designed.
What's something?
When's this book come out?
Next year.
I'm gonna have to give myself a copy of that.
Signed. Here's the thing, not to like plug this, but I have a book coming out myself where for years everyone asked me, how do you do this, right? And they don't realize that, take that one step further. If I taught you how to guess a word out of a book, or guess a number, or guess the name of a celebrity, that's actually not useful in your day-to-day life. It'd be a good party trick. It's been very fruitful for me. But if you could distill what are the skills I use in reading people and find what are the ones that you could apply to your life, at home, at work, in relationships, because there's a quantifiable edge that I can give people that's not in the guise of entertainment, but day-to-day life. Like, how do you go into a room and know what people are feeling, what they're thinking? When do you go up to your boss and ask for the raise? How do you know this is the peak moment where they're going to say yes?
And I'm sure that you would agree that if people knew what you know now, if you've seen how he's done these tricks, if you've seen how he does the glances, the gimmicks, the forces, if you've seen how dual reality works, then people probably are going to be maybe much less impressed about what he has to say about how to ask your boss for a raise or how to remember things more. Well, I mean, that's another instance of where he's using this sort of half true, half lie sort of stuff. He talks about using the skills that he knows as a mentalist in your everyday life, such as memory, for example. Memory is a skill that he has to use as a mentalist. He has to remember what people have done before the show. He has to be able to glance at words and remember them. So short-term memory is super important for him. But that's not how people are going to interpret it. People are going to interpret it that this guy is a master of the mind. And again, to some degree, he is a master of the mind. To manipulate people, you need to manipulate their minds. He is a master manipulator.
So you asked me, am I reading minds? No, I'm not psychic. I'm reading him.
So in that sense, he is a kind of mentalist. It's just, as I said before, he's convinced you that he's a mentalist because he's convinced you that he can read you, but he's not reading you, he's writing you.